following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
We are moments away from the kickoff of one of the greatest traditional bowl games in college football, the USF&G Sugar Bowl. Tonight, the University of Virginia rolls into New Orleans after an historic year. Earlier this season, the Cavaliers were the #1 team in the nation for the first time in their 103 years of football history. Their sensational quarterback, Sean Moore, is back from a thumb injury. He'll be at the controls tonight. The Tennessee Volunteers are the champions of the Southeastern Conference. A balanced attack features Tony Thompson, the running back, and quarterback Andy Kelly. The Volunteers offense, the highest scoring in the conference. A sellout crowd tonight at the Superdome for the 57th play of the USF&G Sugar Bowl. Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. A sellout crowd for the second consecutive night. Nearly 70,000 on hand. They were here for the Saints and the Rams last night. Saints, of course, moving on to the Bears, but we have Tennessee and Virginia tonight. Virginia got off to a great start early in the year, 7-0. They were #1 in the nation for 3 weeks. Faltered late in the season, losing 3 out of 4. They'd like to gain a little of that early glory back tonight, going against Tennessee. The second year in a row, they have been the Southeastern Conference champion. Two highly explosive teams. Frank Gifford along with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf, and this one should be fun.
Frank, I think we're going to see a very high-scoring game. That seems to be the consensus feeling. We know both teams can score, and Dan, it might be determined by which team plays better defensively tonight.
I think you'd have to give the edge to Tennessee in that respect. Both of these teams have skilled players all over the place. Great running backs, fine receivers, good quarterbacking. If Tennessee under John Majors has any sort of an edge, I think it would be in their ability to control the line of scrimmage. I think that'll be a big story in tonight's game. If Tennessee wins the line of scrimmage battle, as their people think they will, well then they will definitely have an edge.
Volunteers to kick off, Virginia to receive. Joey Chapman will put it in the air from the 35-yard line as the Cavaliers receive, and the Sugar Bowl is underway from New Orleans as Jared Washington takes it at the 2 and begins the game with a run back of 37 yards to the 39-yard line. And the Virginia Cavaliers will take over at that spot. Sean Moore, who led the nation in passing efficiency this season, dislocated his thumb against Maryland. He was questionable for this game. He said the other day he's at about 60%. George Wells feels that's enough. He's got Kirby and Sweeney beginning the game behind him. Herman Moore is terrific. We'll see a lot of him. Ray Roberts, the left tackle, 72, is their best offensive lineman. Wiles, a good one, too, will be going to the Hula Bowl. This is Terry Kirby picking up about 3. He and Nicky Fisher will alternate as their featured running back tonight, as has been the case this year. 4-man defensive front for Tennessee. Rogers and Bailey, Fuller, and Chuck Smith, the best of that quartet. Hardy, Dotson, and Fields. They may move Dotson back to offense next year. Lincoln and McCluskey are the corners. Fletcher and Dale Carter, the safeties. Carter is a man to watch. And all of those Volunteers will be back next year on defense. On 2nd and 7, they pitch it to Kirby, and he takes it out to the 46-yard line. Stopped about 3 yards shy of the first down by Chuck Smith, number 56, along with help from J.J. McCluskey.
Kirby, of course, a 1,000-yard rusher. And one thing George Welch also told us about going with his quarterback, Sean Moore, he said, well, he's got a sore thumb, but his legs are fine, meaning that he is an additional running threat from that quarterback spot. He had over 360 yards rushing. He scored 8 touchdowns on the ground. So he is also a multiple threat, not only throwing it, but running the ball.
Third down and a long 3 from just outside the 45 as Sean Moore gets set for his first pass of the game, and he finds his favorite receiver, Herman Moore, for a first down just across midfield at the Tennessee 49-yard line. Herman Moore is a junior, but he's going to graduate. He has a year of eligibility remaining, but the feeling around Virginia is he will come out and make himself available in the NFL draft.
Well, what a target at 6'5", and he just delays and runs underneath the Tennessee zone. They drop back and almost concede the first down to Virginia by playing that deep zone. But what a talent in Herman Moore. The great size, the excellent speed, and the leaping ability over a 7-foot high jump.
From the 49-yard line on a delay. Nothing happens there. There's a fumble at the 49-yard line and a loose ball as Kirby dropped it. He may have been down before the ball came loose. No signal yet from the official, and apparently that will be the call as they rewind the clock. He was down by contact, and the referee, Dean Kramer, is right there to let us know it's still Virginia ball.
And, of course, for us tonight, guys, something unusual in this game. No instant replay. That ball was out. That ball came out before he hit the ground. Tom Fuller makes the hit. And that ball was away before Kirby hits the ground. A good break for Virginia. They retain possession.
No further review tonight. Second down and 12. And this is Moore rolling and running to the 45-yard line. He's pushed out of bounds by Darrell Hardy. Not only a great arm, but he's a very mobile quarterback, Sean Moore.
Well, he rushed for over 300 yards this year. Not a great average, only almost 3.5 yards per carry, but effective. A lot of those were first down pickups.
Virginia, remember, 7-0 and #1 in the country, and then they met up with Georgia Tech after the Sugar Bowl invitation, 1-3. And the big difference there, they were on the plus side of the takeaway giveaway ratio until those last 4 games. Well on the plus side as Moore's pass is caught at the 36-yard line by Aaron Mundy, and that's good enough for a first down.
This is good for Sean Moore. He's completed his first 2 passes now. He has a very sore thumb. There's no question about it. But again, the adrenaline will be flowing. He's completed a couple now. They weren't beautiful things to behold. They didn't have a tight spiral, as you can see there, and it obviously is not going to get there as quickly that way. It was thrown short, but he gets the completion. He gets the first down. The adrenaline flows, and he could have a great night.
George Wells said, the only thing that's going to concern me about Moore is his velocity. From the 37-yard line, he hands the ball to Gary Steele, who is normally used as a blocker. Their fullbacks rarely carry, and Steele picks up about 2. Opening drive of the game, 11:53 to go. First quarter, no score in the USF&G Sugar Bowl.
I think when you think of Virginia, you automatically think of the Moore-to-Moore combination, but they run the ball so well. When you look at the averages that their running backs maintain throughout the year, I mean, Kirby, 6.2 yards per carry. Fisher, 7 yards a carry. Brown, 7 yards a carry. I mean, these guys get great blocking up front.
And this is Kirby, who doesn't find the blocking on that particular play. Chuck Smith makes the stop. But you're right, Dan, in the sense I think a lot of people think of Virginia as being a one-dimensional team, but they gained more on the ground than they did in the air this year.
Yeah, they really did, and they have an outstanding balance. A lot of different people are getting the yards. We mentioned Kirby over 1,000. Fisher had 848 yards during the year. I mean, that's tremendous production from a couple of guys.
There's the man they want to watch in this particular play, number 87, the big man. We've already told you about him. As NFL scouts drooling all over the league, 6'5", a 200-pounder. And Virginia in the passing situation. They move him around to get him in single coverage.
On 3rd and 7, the pass is caught by Herman Moore, who was the man in motion, and I believe it's enough for a first down, as it is spotted just inside the 27-yard line, and it is. So that's another conversion on the 3rd down situation for Virginia, 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions on this opening drive. 1st and 10.
Moore was 6th in the Heisman balloting, to give you an idea of how respected he was. I'll tell you, that's a really graceful move he put on there. How many times have you seen Al Toon do that move and Jerry Rice do that move?
Well, Toon is the player, Frank, that immediately comes to mind when you look at the physique of Herman Moore. That tall, rangy. You can see him going to the sideline, kind of feeling his back in that kidney area.
And he asked to come out, by the way.
He took a good shot.
First down from the 27. There's a penalty. Kirby moves through a hole, takes it to the 17-yard line.
Well, Tennessee was lined up offsides. I mean, that looked obvious that the defensive end of this side was lined up offsides.
McCluskey made the stop. The penalty will probably be declined. And will certainly be declined if it is a first down. It's close to it.
I think it's Chuck Smith right here. I think that's number 56 who's lined up. You can see that he is about a half a yard in front of all of his teammates, well into the neutral zone.
Offside on the off defense will measure.
And they'll probably decline it, I would think, either way. It'll either be first and 10, in which case they will definitely decline it, or second and a couple of inches.
A very impressive beginning, though, for Virginia. They got the good kickoff return, and they have put together a nice drive. Kind of a big day so far for the ACC, Al.
Well, the Clemson Tigers destroyed Illinois in the Hall of Fame Bowl at Tampa. Georgia Tech still with designs on winning the national championship. They were very impressive today in the Florida Citrus Bowl, knocking off Nebraska, and certainly they're hoping that Notre Dame wins tonight and knocks off top-ranked Colorado.
Wasn't long ago if you told me the ACC had a big New Year's Day, I would have assumed there was a basketball tournament somewhere.
You bet. First down from the 17-yard line, and that's the fullback, Gary Steele, a 223-pound sophomore from Chesterfield, Virginia, who gets to the 10-yard line on the 11th play of the game's opening drive.
And Herman Moore went off the field a few moments ago. Not good news for the Cavs. He is such an integral part of their offense, the big talented wide receiver. He was looked at by a trainer. They massaged his back, probably put a little, some kind of either a coolant or a heat on his back, and he is still on the sideline.
Johnny Wilson takes his place, number 8. Brian Satola also in at a wide-out spot on 2nd and 3. Big hole for the fullback, Steele, who's in for the touchdown.
Well, a change up in the philosophy for the Cavs. They don't give the football to their fullbacks. I mean, they'll tell you, George Welch will tell you, our fullbacks are guards. They block.
Steele carried only 35 times in 11 games this season, so here's a guy who gets the ball about 3 times a game. He carries 3 times on that drive and gives the Cavaliers the early lead.
I'd give him a little more off if he ran like this. Good moves right here.
They don't even block Kerry Bailey, the one defensive tackle. Oh, and you can see that kick was blocked.
So the conversion attempt is no good. The block by Jeremy Lincoln of the University of Tennessee. And so the extra point attempt by Jake McInerney is no good. George Welsh not happy about that, but certainly impressed by the opening drive of the Cavaliers, who marched 61 yards to take a 6-0 advantage.
Very impressive drive as we look at Gary Steele and George Welch in our visit with him. He refers to his fullbacks as another set of guards for me, good blockers, and now we have seen a rather surprise play, and it scores for Virginia.
They were the innovator. The rest of them.
USF&G Sugar Bowl. Brought to you by USF&G Insurance. Protecting your business, home, auto, and life. USF&G, standing behind the USA. By Chrysler Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers, where you get the advantage. And by Ultra Slim Fast, a delicious, healthy way to lose weight fast.
You saw that it was a missed conversion for the extra point by Virginia. Here's what happened. Keep an eye on the football right here. Rob Riddleberger is the holder. But watch how he loses the ball, and the ball starts to fall to the ground. McInerney really doesn't get much of the football and just kicks it right into the back of the leg of his blockers up front. So Riddleberger, the holder, had some problems handling the snap from center. And McInerney really had absolutely no chance at all of getting that ball up into the air. It was almost flat on the ground when he struck it.
They kick it away from Dale Carter, and to one of the up men who takes it back to the 45-yard line as the kick is run back by Mario Brunson. And you saw the graphic illustrating that Dale Carter of Tennessee led the nation in kickoff returns. They kick it away from him, but still Tennessee with great position at the 45. Andy Kelly is their quarterback, coming off a fine season. Good at the beginning, slumped in the middle, came on with a flourish at the end. Tony Thompson led the SEC in rushing. Cole's a great blocker. Harper and Pickens are terrific. Adams the tight end. And there you have the Twin Peaks, the tackles McRae and Davis, each a prospective first-round draft pick. A penalty flag is down. The catch is made by Vince Moore for a short pickup to the 50, and let's see what the flag is about. Steve Kramer is the referee. And it's offside against the Cavaliers.
Defense. Offside on the defense. We'll repeat the down. First.
Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator of Virginia. And his defense was, well, pretty close to being shredded toward the end of the season. The 5 up front. Oliver and Killian are the linebackers. Wallace and Covington the corners. Lewis and McMeans are the safeties. This is Tony Thompson to the outside and then takes it down to the 45-yard line. It's close to a first down on a 1st and 5 play as Don Reynolds makes the tackle.
Tennessee counting on the fact that Virginia's had problems. They have a very young set of linebackers. They've moved them around a little bit tonight. They start Gene Tolliver at one spot, but they're young and they're not very big, and quite frankly, it's the weak part of this defensive team. In Tennessee, if they can control that line of scrimmage, Dan talked about it earlier, they should be able to move the ball well on the ground. They could be able to move it all night on the ground.
1st and 10. Kelly gives it to Thompson. Thompson takes it down to the 39-yard line. That's a gain of 6. He is stopped by Benson Goodwin, and Thompson is a guy who got the opportunity to play this season when Chuck Webb was injured. Suffered a serious knee injury in their 2nd game of the season against Pacific, and then Thompson came on and led the conference in rushing.
You know you've got a great offensive line when your best tailback goes down, as Chuck Webb did. He had over 1,200 yards a year ago, and you get the backup, have him come in and gain over 1,200 yards.
2nd and 3 on the option. Kelly Keith seeks the first down. He's close to it as he is brought to the turf by Covington at the 35-yard line, and that might be close enough to measure. And after taking a quick look, Kramer says it is a first down.
Good move by Kelly. He took a look at the option, the way it was shaping up, how it was stringing out all across the field. He knew he could get the first down. He had no intention of lateraling this ball out.
Randall Cunningham, though, Andy Kelly is not. He carried the ball 38 times during the regular season for a 1/2 yard per carry average.
First down from the 35. Here's Thompson. Found no room through the middle, then loses the ball. Swinging to the outside, and Virginia has recovered at the 36-yard line.
Who's the favorite and who's the underdog?
Yeah, Don Reynolds was there. Keith McMeans was the guy who created the fumble. Reynolds recovers the fumble at the 36-yard line, and Virginia, a 6-point dog, leads by 6, and they have the football.
What McMeans, now he hammers the helmet right into the football as Thompson tries to break it back against the grain. It's a free football, and Virginia, that's their 2nd possession of the night. Good tackle. Put the head right in there at the waist to cut the ball. Would have been hard to handle that ball for Thompson. He lost it.
Herman Moore is back in the game. That's Moore top of the screen. Split right. First down, 36-yard line. 7:40 to go first quarter. 6-0 Virginia. Sean Moore going deep. And you know it's Herman in the area, but the pass hung up and Dale Carter was right there to break it up. That's going to be a good battle tonight under any circumstance. Carter, an excellent defensive back, and Herman Moore, one of the finest receivers in the country.
Well, that's one of the most screwed up patterns you're ever going to see. It wasn't Sean Moore's fault. Now watch as the big man comes downfield, Herman Moore. There's another receiver right there with him. And meanwhile, Sean Moore's in all kinds of trouble back there, and he hangs it up. He's got the bad thumb. and he's unable to get enough on it to get the ball down deep downfield to Moore.
Well, it seemed to me the problem was that Moore bought time by going out to his right, and by the time he threw the ball, his receivers were told they're out of range. I mean, they were just too far away.
Out of the area code.
No.
2nd and 10 after faking to the fullback. The handoff to Nicky Fisher. And he's out to the 46. That's close to a first down. Fisher and Kirby will be the two guys who will alternate. The alternating tailbacks, and both are threats.
They had almost 2,000 yards between them. They had, Fisher is really quick. We saw a good look at him there. He cut back with off the left foot. It was good against the grain cut.
An indication on that graphic you saw of how quickly Virginia scores. They are a big play team. They will not normally bang it out 4 and 5 yards at a whack. They like to get after it, 3 or 4 plays, and then stretch the field, go for the big play. George Welsh, a very conservative man, but that is not reflected in his play calling.
Kirby and Fisher combined for, as I said, just under 2,000 yards rushing, but in one game against William & Mary, they had 352 together. So they more than make up as a pair what Tony Thompson offers for Tennessee.
First down, Virginia at the 46, 7:15 to go. First quarter, Virginia leads 6-0. And through the middle for a gain of 3, Nicky Fisher. For Virginia, one of the keys tonight was to get back up. I mean, here was a team #1 in the country, had every chance to beat Georgia Tech, but lost. They did rebound the next week to beat North Carolina, but they ended with losses to Maryland and then Virginia Tech, and Sean Moore was hurt. And they went from #1 to unranked, which is almost unheard of.
I think you're exactly right, Al. It was had the entire campus. Charlottesville had never been in that position before. The state had never been there, and all of a sudden, you left the air out of the balloon, and they've got to get it back pulled together tonight. They could come a long way against Tennessee.
2nd and 7. Receivers are covered, so Sean Moore will take off, and he gets taken down at the 49-yard line by J.J. McCluskey. The cornerback comes flying up to pound him down at the 49.
And J.J. McCluskey, I think, came awful close to getting a personal foul called on him. You can come in and make a great tackle, which he did, a good, clean hit. Watch the open field tackle here by McCluskey, and they both go to the ground, but then he's going to get back up and hold on to Sean Moore and drag him a little bit. That's the kind of thing. Here you get a look at it. He's going to add a little bit to it.
I think that's an NFL flag.
3rd down and a long 4 just inside the 49-yard line. Moore, the screen is set up, caught by Terry Kirby at the 50, and with some nifty moves, he picks up a first down, and that's the 4th third down conversion already for Virginia.
Terry Kirby turned a bad-looking screen into something pretty good.
When that ball's in the air, Frank, I wouldn't have bet a nickel that was going to gain positive yardage. That looked like a dead play. Kirby breaks a couple of tackles. There's a broken tackle right there, which would have been for about a 2 or 3 yard loss.
Another missed tackle with the defender trying to strip the football, and Kirby gets the first down as a result.
Well, Tennessee was supposed to have the big horses up on the line of scrimmage to control the line of scrimmage, but so far it's been the Cavaliers that are controlling things.
First down at the 41-yard line. A little option, and then Moore back to pass, and Moore going deep, but that one hangs and is intercepted at the 7-yard line.
That's just, I understand for Sean Moore. He just can't throw the ball. He's wide open, and he just couldn't get it there.
Dale Carter is the guy who intercepts it. The pass intended for Johnny Wilson.
Sean Moore, he can throw that ball about 60, 65 yards, and he just doesn't have it. He's got the bad thumb. We've talked about it. Look how wide open the receiver is. Wilson just standing there having to wait. Disappointment for Sean Moore, but how about Johnny Wilson? He was wide open for 6. Be a long night, perhaps, for Sean Moore throwing the ball.
A little brains.
Sports. And we're back at the Superdome in New Orleans, a stadium that was clearly rocking last night because their Saints go to the playoffs. On the subject of the playoffs, we will cover both games Saturday for you here on ABC. Washington at Philadelphia in the opener. Then from Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. The Dolphins hosting the Kansas City Chiefs as the playoffs get underway Saturday. From the 8, Tennessee on first down, trailing 6-0. The ball is given to Roland Poles, who doesn't carry the ball that often. Good blocking fullback. Well, if you've been out today and you've missed some of the scores, we can begin to update for you what has been taking place on a very big day. Michigan destroyed Mississippi. Deerdorf's team knocks off Archie Manning's old team in the Gator Bowl. In the Hall of Fame Bowl, the Clemson win. Georgia Tech was very impressive in the Citrus Bowl. And Miami destroys Texas 46-3. And how about the Louisville Cardinals winning 34-7? Washington looked like they had Iowa completely routed early, and then the Hawkeyes made a game of it. And Colorado leads Notre Dame 3-0 in the Orange Bowl in the second quarter. Roland Poles carried for a gain of 2. It's 3rd down and 1. Tennessee up at the 17.
Tennessee just trying to use that big offensive line, giving the ball to Roland Poles, a big 240-pound senior, runs kind of crab-like. He's seeing moving across the field. They're just trying to control the ball to get out from their own goal line.
3rd and 1. They fake it to Poles, pitch it to Thompson. He gets to the outside, but can't turn the corner. Jason Wallace knocks him down and forces a punt.
A very impressive beginning for the University of Virginia. They have moved the ball offensively, and defensively they have pretty well smothered Tennessee. Another look here at Jason Wallace. An excellent job of fighting off the block, playing off the receiver, and then moving upfield. He was not dropping back. He was gaining ground as he went up towards the ball carrier.
Joey Chapman, who had a great year, gets off a terrible kick. And that was one of the things that killed Tennessee last year. And Johnny Major said, I had to get a punter. Chapman did a terrific job, led the conference, but this one off the side of his foot for 13 yards. And Virginia will take over in excellent shape. He averaged 41.9 during the regular season. Virginia with the ball and a 6-0 lead. Cheers of Tennessee, 8-2-2 during the regular season, and favored to win this, but they've got their hands full at the outset. Virginia leads 6-0, and Virginia has the ball at the Tennessee 28-yard line, 1st and 10. Sean Moore, the quarterback, sends Terrence Tomlin in motion. Gives the ball off to his tailback. That's Nicky Fisher, who pounds forward for a gain of close to 8. Ernest Fields, the good-looking linebacker, 23, makes the tackle.
I think we've seen a lot of passing tonight on the part of Virginia. I'm sure they'd like to run the ball as much as they could with the bad thumb of Sean Moore, but I think it'll be an underneath game after what we saw a moment ago when he tried to go deep. His thumb is still causing him a lot of problems. We said earlier, about 60% effective.
And he looks about 60% effective. He wasn't playing possum. 2nd and 2 from the 20-yard line. And they give it to the fullback, and this is Steele, who, as we mentioned, on the first drive was seldom used as a runner this year, but he's already carried 4 times tonight, has a touchdown, and now a 1st down.
You won't have to throw the ball if you can continue to run the way Virginia's been able to do with both Kirby and Fisher. And here comes Steele, the fullback, and again, they seldom run their fullbacks, and Steele was powering his way down to the 10-yard line.
The Tennessee linebackers, at least so far in this ball game, have just simply been overrunning the play. They're too quick in their pursuit. They're scraping off their defensive linemen, and they're really oblivious to the Virginia running backs that are scooting by them on quick hitters.
It's 1st and goal from the 10, and there was some timing on the handoff to Steele, who has now carried 5 times for 29 yards at the outset of the game.
Al, if I could interrupt, I think another indication of Moore's bad thumb. He almost dropped that ball, the snap from center. He had trouble handling the snap, and again, it's on the right hand. It's the right thumb that Sean Moore dislocated.
It's only been in the last week that he's been taking it with the right hand up. He has tried to reverse the hands, but see, you're exactly right.
Boy, that's...
And you see the heavy wrapping, and he grabbed that thumb as he pulled away from the handoff as Steele tried to pull ahead.
2nd and goal from the 9. A minute and a half to go in the opening quarter. On a quarterback draw. Moore goes next to nowhere, takes it to the 8. It's going to be 3rd down and goal with 1:18 remaining in the quarter. Bradley and Hardy in on the tackle.
If you're wondering who they would have if they decided to take Moore out, it's Matt Blunding, who in his final game in a loss to Virginia Tech, even though they lost 38-13, he passed for over 340 yards. Big, tall pocket passer, and he really isn't coordinated with the overall philosophy of the wide open offense of Virginia. He does not scramble a lot. He's just a big pocket passer.
That was him, number 14. He's a basketball player. 3rd and goal. He shoots it out to Kirby, and Kirby gets taken out of bounds at the 5-yard line. So the Volunteer defense stiffens on 1st and goal. It's now going to be 4th and goal. In the waning seconds of the quarter, Johnny Majors will look on as Virginia sends out its field goal unit. Jake McInerney, who missed the extra point because of the bad hold by Riddleberger, made his last 10 field goal attempts of the season, and from this range, he was perfect this year. 15 of 15. And this time, the snap and the hold are both perfect, and so is the kick. 22-yard field goal by McInerney. Tacks on 3 more for the Cavaliers, who lead it with 35 seconds to play in the quarter. 9-0 in New Orleans.
A little brains, a little luck, and a lot of late nights. A good family, a good spot, and some good advice. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G standing behind me. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G standing behind me.
The evolution of the minivan is now complete.
Now get cashback savings with Plymouth's Golden Advantage.
Saturday, the road to Super Bowl 25 begins with an NFC wildcard playoff. The Washington Redskins make their first trip to the postseason since they won it all in Super Bowl 22. They face their division rivals, Randall Cunningham and the hard-hitting Philadelphia Eagles. Then the AFC wildcard playoff follows. Christian Okoye powers the Kansas City Chiefs into Miami to face Dan Marino and the Dolphins. The postseason party kicks off with a doubleheader Saturday on ABC Sports.
35 seconds remaining in the USF&G Sugar Bowl. Drummer with his dinner in hand.
Guaranteed delivery, boy.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Right.
Do deliver anyway.
Traffic or no traffic. For Tennessee, that's Dale Carter who goes back to receive the kick. Michael Husted will kick off for the Cavaliers. Short kick. And it will bounce out of bounds at the 18-yard line. They will go to any extreme to keep that ball away from Dale Carter.
There's old Smokey.
Yards a kickoff return.
There's old Smokey, the mascot for the University of Tennessee, a coon dog. Gets after those raccoons.
He does.
Old Smokey's dribbling a little bit tonight. He's got reason to be frothing. His guys have not started well.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about college football. The animal mascots. Virginia doesn't have one, though. No caribous, no centipedes, no cheetahs, no chickens. I mean, it's just a Cavalier.
Sometimes, Al, you're truly a pathetic human being.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, if you had your choice, what name would you give them?
No centipede?
No centipede.
I'm just looking for a mascot.
Oh, my.
No, you're not allowed to say that in this bowl.
Oh, that's another network.
Right. From the 30.
That's the Peacock.
Right. From the 20-yard line, the kick fielded by Dale Carter. He brings it back out to the 47. And near midfield will be Tennessee Volunteers take over in the waning seconds. They are 29 of them remaining in the quarter.
Well, you can't say that Tennessee's not getting good field position opportunities. 2 bad kicks. They've been up close over their 40-yard line in both possessions to get things started. And the concern on the part of George Welch about his defense has not held up thus far. They've done a good job, Virginia, defensively.
First down ball from the 46. Andy Kelly off the play fake. And that opens it up for number 1, Vince Moore, for a big gain down to the 26, where Keith McMeans makes the tackle.
Oh, that time, good protection for Andy Kelly. He set back in that pocket, and Vince Moore came from all the way across the field and found the opening in the gap. Found the seam. Look at all the time he has. Great protection.
That's the first pass of the night for the Volunteers. It results in a 28-yard gain. 11 seconds to play in the quarter. Virginia up 9-zip. First down to the 25. And Thompson will be the final play of the quarter. Picks up about 3 to the 23-yard line. And that will do it. So Tennessee comes in as a 6-point pick, but at the end of the first 15-minute session, it's Virginia leading 9-0.
Super Bowl. Brought to you by Ultra Slim Fast, a delicious, healthy way to lose weight fast. And by Thrifty Car Rental, because it's your money.
And we're back in New Orleans on New Year's night. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf at the 1991 Sugar Bowl, where, as we start the second quarter, Virginia leads Tennessee 9-0, but Tennessee has the ball. 2nd and 8 at the Virginia 23. And Kelly hands the ball to Greg Ansler, number 47, who takes it to the 19 for a gain of 4, and Virginia dominates the first quarter on the scoreboard and as far as the stats are concerned as well.
It has been an extremely strong quarter for Virginia that has been talking all along how they're the ones that needed to get out to the quick start, that they didn't want to have to be the team that falls behind, because most people believe Tennessee has the superior manpower, although that certainly has not been shown so far tonight. Virginia doing a good job up and down the line.
On 3rd and 4, Kelly under pressure as he throws and has it picked off at the 1 by Tony Covington. We'll have a lot to say about that to the press after the game. He loves to talk.
Good play by Covington, stepping right in front of the receiver. Pickens, the leading receiver for these balls. Covington now has made a big play at one corner, and we saw a big play by Jason Wallace a little earlier, and maybe a little advised pass by Andy Kelly off balance. He couldn't get anything on it, but a fine play by Covington to make the interception.
Boy, talk about anticipating the route that's to be run by the receiver. Covington actually makes a break to the outside before Pickens does. I mean, just a sensational job by Tony Covington of anticipating that break to the corner and actually stepping in front of it before Pickens makes his break. I don't know if Andy Kelly locked on to Pickens all the way and telegraphed that he was going that direction, but Covington was all over.
From the 1 now, seeking some breathing room, Abe Sweeney, the fullback, picks up maybe 1 out to the 2. 2nd and 9.
Certainly a fun week in New Orleans for both of these clubs. It's a lot of fun to go to a bowl game. Of course, New Orleans is a great town to come to. A lot of eating going on. Who knows how many shrimp, clams, oysters, whatever have disappeared this week. These guys have hit Bourbon Street and done some damage.
Lobster, the whole bit. 2nd and 9 from the 2. Sean Moore pitches it back, and a nice leaping move by Terry Kirby to take it all the way out to close to the 12, and it might be a first down. Chuck Smith provided the hurdle.
Maybe a little bit of a Randall Cunningham, and there is a injured player down on the field. That's Gary Steele, the fullback, and take a look at it again. Perhaps Steele providing the block. Moore pitches out to Kirby. And Kirby gives it a little ram to Cunningham, and that was enough for the first down.
Steele is still down on the ground, but another good look at that effort by Kirby. Gary Steele remains down at about the 8-yard line. The Virginia doctors attend to him. We'll be back in a moment.
In time, all definitions must be revised. But when it came to redefining luxury, it wasn't a Webster, it was Oldsmobile, the all-new 98. Now you can have anti-lock brakes, fuel-efficient power, computerized suspension, technology found in cars costing thousands more, which by my definition could be the greatest luxury of all. And you can always take a Webster at his word.
This is the new 98. Luxury redefined.
Generation of Olds.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery before 10:30 to more businesses than anyone else in the business? Who did you think?
This lady came in the other day. Some station downtown told her she needed new brakes and said it'd take 4 days. But you know, she only has the one car and she had to get to work, and missing one night of TV wasn't going to hurt me. So I told her sure, I'd stay and get it done.
Good service is why people choose a place like Harlan Motors, and why places like Harlan Motors choose USF&G Insurance and their independent agents.
USF&G standing behind me.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery before 10:30 to the most people coast to coast? Who did you think?
The Kansas City Chiefs roar into Miami to take on Dan Marino and the Dolphins. It's game 2 of an NFL playoff doubleheader Saturday on ABC Sports.
Gary Steele has come off the field. He was rotating his shoulder. And we'll try to get a report on him. Dave Sweeney, who alternates with him anyway, is back in the game. First down.
They were checking the muscles of his arm. They had their arm up there underneath, and we're looking at it. I think he's all right.
Sean Moore and Virginia, 1st and 10 at the 13. They lead 9-0 as number 42, Terry Kirby, sophomore, picks up about 4. He is stopped by Chuck Smith. Kirby and Fisher alternating, so they always have a fresh back in the game, or at least they try to keep a fresh back in the game.
Kirby had 5 100-yard days, and again, there's Steele there. And he does appear to be okay. Sure, we'll see him again.
2nd and 7. 12:54 remaining in the first half at the Sugar Bowl. Sean Moore. Some good ball handling, but then the pass is too high for Herman Moore. The two, by the way, if you're wondering, are not related. Jeremy Lincoln covering.
Herman Moore's had some great days. The leading receiver coming in with 54 receptions, averaging 22 yards. That led the nation. And even in the loss to Georgia Tech, this man had 9 receptions for over 230 yards and a touchdown. And again, NFL scouts panning over this man. And he may come out as a junior.
3rd and 7. Cavaliers from their own 16-yard line. And it's the inside handoff to Kirby, and he fights his way forward. He's going to be close to a first down. Crucial spot here. He needed to get to the 23, as you can see.
You know, you can imagine the pressure that has to be on a player like Herman Moore, the uncertainty that surrounds the NFL draft, and you know what is going to happen. Talks of wage scales for incoming rookies and whatnot, and I'm sure that Herman Moore, like a lot of talented college juniors, if they had that certainty of the draft being there and that they would continue to go at that position, would stay for their senior season. But you can certainly understand what must bounce around inside his head. Should I go or shouldn't I go? Because you're talking about mega dollars.
Well, almost every good junior in the country, and the first one who comes to mind is Rocket Ismail of Notre Dame, really has that same choice right now.
And they hear all the rumors, as you say, Dan, about maybe the draft disappearing. There'll be a wage scale put in, and that could, of course, make a tremendous difference for this young man. Again, there's a lot of confusion, but it certainly is not affected the way he's played. He's had an absolutely brilliant year.
The early bird gets the worm.
First down from the 23-yard line. Kirby picks up one, takes it to the 24. Coming up to make the tackle was number 53 for the Volunteers. That's Carrie Bailey. Number 18 in that secondary, Dale Carter. He's a junior out of Oxford, Georgia. He's really come on. And again, he's their key man on returning kickoffs. So Sean Moore drops back, and then his pass is through the hands of Terry Kirby, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 9.
Kirby's a good athlete, a good receiver. He had over 30 receptions during the course of the year. That's kind of uncharacteristic of him to bobble the ball. And all of a sudden, you're seeing what many people anticipated, the Tennessee defense stiffening. They play a 4-3 defense, much like the Dallas Cowboys. They shifted over into an odd alignment, but they have those 3 linebackers in, and they rely on some pretty small cornerbacks. And the one thing that Virginia thought they could do coming into the game is use Herman Moore, the big man, against these small cornerbacks of Tennessee, and we haven't seen it yet.
3rd and 9, and Sean Moore is protected well, and then his pass is incomplete. Intended for Herman Moore, who was well covered, so well covered, in fact, he thought it was illegal. Darryl Hardy was the guy who had him wrapped up, and he felt literally. Moore did, not Hardy. 4th down.
Why, just because he's pulling his jersey back on?
Disrobed.
So 4th down, and the Cavaliers are forced to kick. Ed Garneau to punt for the first time. The snapper is Bill Curry, the son of the Kentucky coach. And the kick is taken by Dale Carter at the 29-yard line. And he's always a threat to break one, but this time he is stopped at the 35 after a 6-yard run back. And the tackle is made by Jared Washington. Vols have the ball. We have 11:25 remaining in the half, and the Welsh's team up by 9. A rather artsy look through a megaphone at the action here at the Superdome in New Orleans. First down, Tennessee from the 35-yard line. Virginia leads 9-0. Kelly off the fake, and Kelly's pass is caught at the 44-yard line by Vince Moore for another big gainer, his 2nd. Now, it's funny, Vince Moore is kind of the forgotten guy because they've got the 2 great wideouts at Tennessee, Alvin Harper and Carl Pickens, and sometimes you forget about Moore.
Oftentimes you'll get the kind of coverage that Moore got, the underneath coverage by the linebacker, and another big gainer for Vince Moore.
At the 44-yard line, here's Kelly going deep again, and it is intercepted in the end zone by Tyrone Lewis. Pickens was double covered. He wants a flag. There is none. McMeans was back there with Lewis, and Lewis takes the carom, and they'll take it out to the 20-yard line.
I think the ball hit all 3 of those guys. I mean, that ball gets carried along in a free-for-all for about 3 or 4 steps. Now, Pickens is running a route, and this ball should not have been thrown. McMeans comes over. He plays it perfectly from center field. You see McMeans gets his hands on it first, and then Lewis comes in, and he just really has the ball served right to him. Goes right over the top of Pickens, right into his hand.
Not thrown, poorly thrown, too, like a wounded duck, just coming into the coverage, and all 3 of them do touch it.
Well, you made it so easy for the center fielder to get over there and make that play, McMeans.
2 assists and a goal as Nicky Fisher takes it up to the 25-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 5. And Johnny Majors cannot like the looks of things thus far. His team favored to win this one, coming off a very impressive end-of-season streak, and not looking good tonight thus far.
Well, look at Andy Kelly during the course of the regular season. He threw just as many touchdowns as he did interceptions. 14 and 14. You take his counterpart, Sean Moore. He had 21 touchdown passes and only 8 interceptions. A 50-50 ratio isn't good enough.
On 2nd and 5, this play is over before it starts. Whistles are blowing. It won't count. There was movement in the line.
And contact. They'll bring that back.
Chuck Smith may have been the guy who came across for Tennessee.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. The ball was not snapped.
Well, he was across, but he was drawn across. Perhaps by Ray Roberts?
Yeah, I believe it was Ray Roberts. I think what happened is Chuck Smith did a good job of drawing Roberts offside. Smith started to go, and he brought Roberts out of his stance. Roberts there, number 72, the left tackle. Take a look at the top of your screen. There goes Smith. Now watch Roberts. See, he double clutches and just starts a half a beat before the snap of the ball.
Makes it 2nd and 10. Report on Gary Steele, the fullback who went out, aggravated his left shoulder, but is expected to come back. Here is Nicky Fisher taking the pitch, seeking the first down, but he's run out of bounds by Carter, perhaps a couple of inches shy of a first down. Let's see where they spot it. And it will be a couple of inches shy. It's going to set up a 3rd down.
Fisher again with that good quick cut. Not big, 5'11", 210 pounds, but he has great cutting ability. And you'll see exactly where the foot went down coming out of bounds.
9:57 to go in the half. They need an inch or two on 3rd down, and Moore will get it himself. And with that little sneak and lunge, he's across the 30, and it's a first down for the Cavs.
Both these coaches were great players in their own right. George Welsh was his 4th in the Heisman balloting as a Navy quarterback back in 1955, and his counterpart across the field, Johnny Majors, was runner-up for the Heisman Award as an All-American tailback in 1956, and that's how that voting went.
Hopalong Cassidy won it. Jim Swink of TCU was 2nd. Welsh finished 3rd, and then Earl Morrall and Paul Horning were in the top 5, and Horning came back to win it the following year. On first down, Moore airs it out for Moore.
Flag.
All over him was McCleskey, and this time we finally got a flag. In fact, 2 of them.
J.J. McCleskey. And see, the problem there is the short cornerbacks of Tennessee are really having to struggle to stay up with a 6'5" Herman Moore. McCleskey listed at 5'8", and he may not make it up there.
That's the worst scenario to get that matchup. There he is, top of your screen. He's only 5'8", and this guy is 6'5" coming down, Herman Moore. He just grabs onto it, draws the flag.
Defensive pass interference, 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
And it was a Tennessee concern coming in to the game. If Virginia could get Herman Moore on those short cornerbacks, not only is McCleskey a small cornerback at 5'8", on the opposite side, Jeremy Lincoln is not all that big either.
But Moore that time with a 9-inch advantage. It's a 15-yard penalty in college football, first down at the 45.
Good news for Virginia there, not only the penalty, but it was a good throw by Sean Moore. He threw the ball a good distance, and he had a good touch on the ball as well.
First and 10 from the 45-yard line. Fisher to midfield with 9:25 remaining in the first half, and Virginia on top 9-0. We talked about both coaches, outstanding players at their respective universities. Welsh going to Navy, Majors playing for Tennessee, and each played in the Sugar Bowl, but with very contrasting results. Welsh was a hero. Majors actually fumbled on a punt, and that cost Tennessee the Sugar Bowl to Baylor 13-7 in 1957.
Yeah, they lost that one to the Bears.
Yep. Here's Fisher escaping at the 50, swinging to the outside, and taken out of bounds at the 46-yard line, a little short of the first down. Dale Carter running him out along with Mark Fletcher. Well, we talked about Welsh, where he finished in the Heisman in 55, and Majors in 56 ended his college career. How did he wind up? Well, that was the year Notre Dame had a terrible team, but Horning had a great year, and of course you had the Notre Dame publicity machine, so he won it. Majors was 2nd. Tommy McDonald and Jerry Tubbs, and look at Jim Brown. I mean, here's a Johnny Majors who could walk down the street and said, hey, I finished 3 places in front of Jim Brown in the Heisman balloting.
He found another great tailback at Tennessee. Hank Warcella, who lives right here in New Orleans, very prominent businessman, and they were getting together the other night for dinner. The two All-American tailbacks in the 50s.
3rd and 2, and seeking that first down and getting it is Terry Kirby. As McCleskey came up to actually get a hand on him behind what would have been the first down, and he was able to lunge forward and pick it up to keep the drive going.
Terry Kirby appears to be losing a little body armor. Hanging out the back of his jersey is a kidney protector that is flapping in the breeze. There's a good look at it there. That is one way to protect your back. It's a little unsightly, but I'm sure effective.
Gary Steele is back in the game. He's number 44. On 1st and 10, Sean Moore throws. It's caught at the 40 by Mark Cook. He rolled out of bounds at about the 33, and that should be enough for a first. Mark Fletcher makes the tackle.
Boy, how about the, I'm sorry, Frank, how about the way Virginia is spreading this ball all around the field? Boy, I love their game plan. I mean, options, throw the ball deep, working the sidelines, crossing patterns. I mean, they are doing it all offensively.
It helps when you have that big man. You can take deep as they did Herman Moore a moment ago. They had the big man on a fly pattern. It opened up for the tight end underneath, and they're taking advantage of everything Tennessee's giving them defensively.
A team that doesn't like to finish second.
In good and bad categories. As you saw, they were also first in penalties. Terry Kirby picks up about 2 to the 31. And again, the ACC, and it's pretty impressive when you can finish number 1 in that many categories in the conference. That includes Clemson and Georgia Tech, both teams winning big and spectacularly in a way today.
A very impressive drive here for Virginia. They are going against a very tough defensive team. This Tennessee moved the ball through the air.
2nd and 8, 7.5 to go in the half. Virginia up 9-0. Here's Steele making the catch, taking it to the 29-yard line. Jeremy Lincoln makes the tackle, and it will be 3rd and 5.
But again, a very inventive play. I mean, you send receivers downfield, you flip it out to the unexpected man. Gary Steele is not much of a receiver. He, of course, could not have been scouted as a receiver. He's wide open. He couldn't get that much yardage on him. But all of a sudden, it makes the defense start to think in a tentative way. Where are they going to go next?
Like to see a kid smile during the course of a football game. I mean, that's the best part of a bowl game. You're here to have some fun. Enjoy the experience. Enjoy the game.
Just make curfew. 3rd and 5 from the 28-yard line. As it's dropped off and then dropped by Kirby. It is a catch and a fumble. And Chris Stearns was the guy who was able to recover it for Virginia. Ernest Fields knocked it loose, but Virginia is able to keep possession, and it's enough for a first down.
And great hustle by the Cavalier left guard, Stearns. There he is to the right of your screen, number 54. He's away from the play. It's easy to stand there and watch, and he'll come flying in here from the left and cover up the football. Who said offensive linemen don't have good hands and hustle? Nice play, Chris.
Who said that?
I don't know. I just probably nobody.
First down from the 20. A 7-yard gain for Terry Kirby, taking it to the 13. 6:10 to go. First half dominated by Virginia.
Superb drive they put together. They've been able to do it in the air with the short passes underneath. Now they are moving the ball on the ground. You can do that. Once you establish one thing, you can usually do the other very well. If you establish the run, you can throw the ball, and vice versa.
2nd down and a long 3. Virginia up 9-0 and driving. This is the 12th play of the drive. And this is Nicky Fisher, who squirts through, and he might have the first down. He got across the 10-yard line, and they spot it there. Again, Sean Moore with a dislocated thumb at the end of the regular season. They questioned whether he could play throughout the month. 6-3 is the score at halftime. And Miami with Notre Dame, number 5, leading number 1, Colorado. It is a first down, and with the nose of the ball on the 10, it means it's 1st and goal. Conley, number 2 in motion. Moore goes down the line, option, pitches back. A lot of contact as Fisher picks up a hard-earned 3 yards. He was popped by Jeremy Lincoln, 25.
Well, I'm not sure if Lincoln was the popper or the poppy, and it is quite obvious that he is still shaken up. Watch this hit by Fisher and Lincoln. Lincoln, number 25, is going to just bounce off. He made the mistake of lowering his head. He didn't attempt to wrap up, and boy, that's dangerous. I get a shiver every time I see a guy come up and lower his head like that. That's just an easy way to get hurt. And you can see that Lincoln is experiencing some real pain with his right arm, the way he's holding it across his chest.
Fisher, a 220-pounder, and Jeremy Lincoln, at about 180 pounds, coming up and making violent contact.
I mean, it was a courageous hit. I mean, he's not coming in down by the ankles. He intended on punishing Fisher, but boy, he took on a big man just a little bit too high.
He's a very key performer for them. He's been a starter all season. Junior from Toledo, Ohio. Turned in several big plays this year. So timeout on the field with 5:06 to go in the half. Virginia with the lead and driving. So happy to report Jeremy Lincoln comes off under his own power, but they check out his shoulder. We'll get a report from the Tennessee bench as play resumes at the 7, 2nd and goal. Floyd Miley takes Lincoln's place at left corner. 2nd and goal at the 7. And this is Fisher, bounces off his own man, takes the ball down to the 1-yard line as Roderick Lewis makes the tackle. It will be 3rd and goal after 1. Virginia, what a year it's been for them. They were number 1 in football. Their men's and women's soccer teams were each ranked number 1 at one point this year, and their women's basketball team is currently number 1 in the country.
Well, Nicky Fisher's putting on quite a show of running here tonight. He was stopped right at the line of scrimmage, squirmed loose, wriggled it all the way down close to the 1-yard line.
Well, the Twin Towers of Tennessee and their offensive line got all the pregame publicity, but right now it's the offensive line of Virginia that's winning this ball game.
And a little pitch back on 3rd and goal results in a Terry Kirby touchdown.
A Terry Kirby walk into the end zone.
Yeah, the threat of Sean Moore coming down on the option. Tennessee closed down on Sean Moore and an easy pitch for the 6th.
And they've made all the big plays tonight. The Cavaliers have had 11 third downs, and they've converted 9 of them with a very imaginative attack.
It's a great way to describe it. It's been just that. They've done everything with all kinds of different personnel. They kept the pass game short for Sean Moore, who is suffering with that sore thumb, but they have been effective.
My gosh, I mean, what a tough group this Virginia bunch is.
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson founded the school.
Wow. It is. They show their affection in strange ways in Virginia.
What would TJ have thought about that? Well, McInerney's extra point is good. 16-0. TJ. Land of kangaroos, the World Swimming and Diving Championships coming away from Australia this Sunday on ABC, and the Infinity Tournament of Champions. Greg Norman competing Sunday on ABC Sports. Michael Husted will kick off for the Cavaliers. Anthony Morgan and Dale Carter back to receive for the Volunteers. And we'll get a chance to look at Carter, who led the nation in kickoff returns. From the 4, back out to the 24. And so Virginia doing it in all phases tonight. Offense, defense, and special teams, leading 16-0.
A staggering figure there in time of possession. Virginia almost 21 minutes to Tennessee's 5. I mean, that is not the way that the Tennessee faithful had it envisioned when they were laying out this game plan. I mean, they expected to control the time of possession, control the clock, and the line of scrimmage. They've done none of the above.
From the 24 on 1st down, Kelly rifles it in there. Carl Pickens makes the catch, then has the ball taken away. They say he retains possession. Tyrone Lewis grabbed it out of there, but after the play had been whistled dead.
Well, Lewis actually, I think, picks it up off of the turf. The ball hits the ground. But you could see the knee was down. Pickens' knee hit the ground before the ball came loose.
Here's Tony Thompson. Out to the 41-yard line, a pickup of about 5. 3:40 to go in the half. Virginia on top 16-0.
Little hurry-up offense on the part of Tennessee.
Second and 5. Kelly throws it out. Pickens, nice little spin move, picks up the first down and a lot more. He takes it to the 44-yard line.
This guy can do more than just catch the ball, Frank. That was a fine run.
Yeah, we've talked so much about Herman Moore. Carl Pickens, a 6'2" sophomore, and that was a great effort after he caught it. He's the leading receiver as a sophomore. 53 receptions with a big average, over 17 yards himself. Here he is. Now watch this. And that could have been a loss had that tackle been made there by Goodwin, but it wasn't. And good running by Pickens.
Thompson, about an 8-yard gain to the 35-yard line. Pickens is a very versatile guy, too. Not only this year doing his number as a receiver. Last year he was a safety, and he was so good, in fact. He was the defensive MVP in last year's Cotton Bowl.
He had 4 interceptions a year ago, and he's just a great athlete.
Second down and 2:48 to go in the opening half. Kelly throws, caught at the 28-yard line by Alvin Harper, and that's enough for a first down.
You know, we talked about Herman Moore being a 7-foot-plus high jumper. Both Pickens and Alvin Harper, the last guy that caught a pass right here, number 81, are 7-foot-plus high jumpers for Tennessee. I mean, tremendous athletic ability all over the field. Nothing more than a quick turn in there by Harper, and all he had to do was wait for the ball. And Andy Kelly's on target this drive.
At the 29-yard line, here's Tony Thompson picking up 4. Tony Covington comes up for the very audible hit. And we have 2:23 remaining in the half.
And we talked about the high jumpers. We talked earlier about the return man, Dale Carter, and there's a kind of an integration with the track team at Tennessee that has gone on for years. You have seen a lot of speedsters come into the NFL that have been not only football players, but great track stars at Tennessee.
Willie Galt comes to mind.
Absolutely.
Right at the top of that list.
Sam Grady as well.
David Morgan.
The Raiders. Tony Thompson should have the first down. He gets it to the 18-yard line. Joe Hall makes the tackle. And this is exactly what Tennessee needs, because they have been stunned, no pun intended, but they may have taken Virginia a little cavalierly coming into this game.
It would appear so, at least to this point. You know, you made the point about the conversion from defensive back to wide receiver. I played with a teammate when I played with the Cardinals that might have been the most successful conversion that I saw. Roy Green, drafted as a defensive back. Jim Hannafin took one look at him and said, hey, this guy'd be a fine receiver. And he was right.
And he played 2 ways for several games.
Timeout, Tennessee.
Sanders, just to get the ball in his hands a certain number of times a game, because he might be the best open field runner in the National Football League.
But Jerry Glanville, who loves defense, I think it'll be a long time before you'll see him on offense. But he is a great open field runner. Of course, he nailed it down against Dallas the other day with that interception and return for a touchdown.
That would be a pretty good pair, wouldn't it? Sanders and Andre Rison. First and 10 at the 18. 1:49 to go in the half. Kelly under a lot of heat gets sacked at the 29-yard line by Benson Goodwin. Ten-yard sack.
Boy, another key play by Virginia. They are doing everything at the right time.
Well, in play action, they moved everyone away from Goodwin. He had no responsibility, and he came in there, was right in Kelly's face.
He's normally a drop linebacker. That time he dropped Kelly. Second and 21. Kelly under heat again, has to throw it away, and it's third and 21 as Ron Harry put the pressure on.
You're right, Al. I mean, Goodwin is their drop linebacker. Slade on the other side is really their pass rush specialist, and it was obvious that Tennessee played that tendency. I mean, they did not account for Goodwin rushing the passer. There's Chris Slade, who had 7 sacks on the year. He's predominantly their guy that comes in and pressures the quarterback. And Virginia doing everything right tonight. The good decisions, a good offensive game plan, and calling all the right blitzes and audibles defensively as well.
3rd down and 21 for Tennessee at the 29-yard line. 1:10 to go in the half. Kelly swings it out. That may be a backward pass. No, they say incomplete. Greg Ansler couldn't handle it. And Tennessee will have to settle for a long field goal attempt, unless they fake it.
Yeah, with the 1st down all the way inside the 10-yard line, I think Johnny Majors wants to get something up on the scoreboard, and he'll go in at halftime and have a little chat with this ball club. We saw those steely eyes a few moments ago when Virginia got in on their last score, and he is not happy with what he's been watching tonight.
Greg Burke has kicked one from 51 yards this season. That's his longest of the year. This one will come from roughly 46, 47 yards out as Joe Hall comes off the field.
One of the key men of that defensive line. Got an abrasion you can see up in the forehead. Of course, usually when you get one of those early in the year, it lasts all year with that helmet.
You better believe it. Every day during practice, it opens back up, and you know what? They don't go away. They leave scars. Lean over here. I'll show you.
I was going to ask you what that was.
46-yard attempt for Burke, and he hooks it, and it is no good. 1:02 remaining in a half that has been dominated by the Virginia Cavaliers, who are #1 in the country going into that Georgia Tech game. Lost to the Yellow Jackets, rebounded the following week to win, but ended their season with losses to Maryland and Virginia Tech, and they have come in unranked.
Well, I know one thing about Burke. When he heads to the sideline after missing a field goal, I'd keep my helmet on.
Well, here's another thing about Burke. In the Auburn-Tennessee game, watch what happens to him after this missed kick, which would have won the game as he heads back toward the sideline. Auburn celebrates. And, well, we'll show you after this next play.
That's what I mean about leaving the helmet on.
Yep. Nicky Fisher picks up about 3. We re-rack it, and here it is as he walks off.
Yeah, I was watching this game. I couldn't believe this.
One of his teammates in a bit of over-exuberance shot a paper cup at his...
Are kickers ever considered teammates?
Only when they make
Only when they make it.
2nd and 7.
It's when you're running Gasters and look at the kicker over on the other field just booting away over there. There's a sense of separation, to be sure.
Nicky Fisher up to the 38-yard line, and this half will expire totally dominated by a 6-point underdog Virginia Cavalier team.
And the ACC continues to play well. The Yellow Jackets and the Tigers already winners today, and the Cavaliers up 16-0 at halftime.
16-0 Virginia. Back we come with halftime activities after this commercial message and a word from our ABC station.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our ABC studios in New York. I'm Roger Twibel. People are going to be talking tonight. They're going to be talking tomorrow. They're going to be talking next week about who's #1 in college football. Well, coming into this final day of the season, this is how the two polls, the AP and the UPI, rank the top teams in the country. Colorado, Georgia Tech, Texas, Miami, Florida State, Notre Dame. You see the top teams there. Who are these people that vote? Well, let's take a look. The AP is a bunch of writers and broadcasters from around the country, 60 voters altogether, but only 22 of those voters, folks, are from west of the Missouri River if you drew a line from the Dakotas down through Texas, so the predominance in the Mideast to the east. Meanwhile, the UPI made up in 5 regions of 59 coaches from 1AA, and those coaches equally divided. So 59 votes from 1A coaches and equally divided in the 5 regions right there, and that's how the UPI and the AP decide. And the UPI ballot comes out at 6 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, AP will be out early tomorrow afternoon. Now, of course, a game very important tonight at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Notre Dame leading Colorado at halftime by a score of 6-3. But Colorado's outstanding quarterback, Darian Hagan, will not be back. Ruptured a tendon in his knee. Charles Johnson will play the second half. Johnson's the guy that scored the winning touchdown on the 5th down against the University of Missouri, of course, in that controversial game. Earlier today, on a game you saw here on ABC, terrific job by Georgia Tech. They beat Nebraska convincingly, 45-21 the final score at the Florida Citrus Bowl. And the final touchdown for Georgia Tech, take a look at this guy, William Bell, no room there. He just spins it to the outside. He high steps it. And then watch this move. A little dash to the end zone and a splash. And right there, Georgia Tech, 11-0-1, they're laying claim to #1. Another team that wants to lay claim to the top spot in the country, Miami. At the Mobile Cotton Bowl in Dallas, 46-3 the final. Craig Erickson, the big day, 4 touchdown passes, including this one, 48 yards to Randall Hill. That's a new Cotton Bowl record, beating the old mark of Doug Flutie. At the Rose Bowl, a game you saw earlier here on ABC, a terrific finish. Washington beats Iowa 46-34. Mark Brunell, the lefty, sophomore quarterback for the Huskies, 2 rushing, 2 passing touchdowns. After the game, Jack Arute was there for the trophy presentation.
Well, it's sheer bedlam here as the Washington Huskies have been victorious, and to make the presentation is the president of the Tournament of Roses Committee, Mr. Roy Coates, to the head coach of the Washington Huskies, Don James. Roy?
Coach James, on behalf of the Tournament of Roses, it's my pleasure to present to you the winner's trophy for the 1991 Rose Bowl game. Congratulations on a great season.
Thanks, Roy. It's a great-looking trophy. We're proud to have it. We made the game a little too exciting, but thanks very much.
Well, kind of a good birthday present, although it was a day late, wasn't it, Coach?
I take it a day late every year. Yeah.
A terrific game. Most points ever scored in a Rose Bowl. We're at halftime of the USF&G Sugar Bowl. Virginia leading Tennessee 16-0, and we'll be going back to New Orleans right after this.
Dominated pretty much on the ground in the air, and they played superb defense. I think it is quite a surprise. They've been able to move the ball, but their tactics themselves, the strategy is put together just beautifully.
Frank, they really got things established early, too, because they took the opening kickoff and they moved down the field. And as we begin to take a look at some of the highlights, that first drive ended with his Gary Steele touchdown, the fullback taking it up the middle from 10 yards out, and that made the score 6-0. The extra point was no good. They were to add a field goal by McInerney before the quarter expired to make it 9-0. Meanwhile, Tennessee came closest to scoring here in the second quarter on a play on which Carl Pickens, their prime receiver, gets sandwiched. Both defensive backs and Pickens himself wind up touching the football, and it's intercepted by Tyrone Lewis. And then Virginia was able to mount another long drive before the half ended, and on a 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, Sean Moore, excellent ball handler, was able to pitch it back to Terry Kirby. He scored from 1 yard out. 16-0 is our halftime score. Then, of course, this rather unusual celebration. I mean, how do you describe that, Dan?
Why send flowers when a simple slap in the face will do?
I think the amazing thing is how well they have done offensively, and Sean Moore has not been the major factor. Sean Moore to Herman Moore combination that we anticipated coming in. The thumb probably still bothering Sean Moore, but they have put together a very stylish game plan.
Yeah, you touched on it right off the bat, Frank, and I think that's the key. They have kept the Tennessee defense totally off balance, and they have utilized the entire width of this football field and the length. A beautiful short passing game. They've stretched it with deep throws, and they have optioned to both sidelines. I mean, Tennessee defensively has no idea where the football is coming at them.
And what about Virginia defensively? Because Tennessee coming into the game averaged 37 points a game during the regular season. They weren't shut out at any point this year during the first half, and Virginia's done a terrific job against them.
And we figure one of the big stories of this game are going to be the 2 big tackles of Tennessee and the Tennessee offensive line supposedly dominating the line of scrimmage. Well, I mean, that has been a non-factor.
One thing Tennessee is known for is their depth, and that could be a factor here in the second half. They can bring people off the bench. Everyone. Virginia has one of them. They have their Herman Moore, the wide receiver. Tennessee's got 3 or 4 wide receivers they can throw it, and they started to get it together a little bit later in the half. But look at that total dominance in time of possession. And we talked about Tennessee's ability to score over 36 points. Well, how about Virginia and the ACC? And I maybe think people have never quite believed in Virginia, but they average over 40 points a game, and they're putting it together here tonight.
And again, I give George Welsh a tremendous amount of credit. I mean, this was a team that was dying at the end of the regular season. They went from #1 to unranked.
Exactly.
How do you get it up to play in a ball game? But they've been able to do it.
Well, we talked about how much they had to prove. I mean, they had it within their grasp, that #1 ranking, and then to come in unranked. And I think what we're seeing is a tremendous exhibition of pride by the University of Virginia.
I think Johnny Majors might have had a few choice words for his balls in there. We'll find out when we come back for the second half action of the USF&G Sugar Bowl, Virginia and Tennessee. Stay with us.
The USF&G Sugar Bowl. USF&G Sugar Bowl. Brought to you by Today's Chevrolet, who invites you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. And by UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery.
And Happy New Year again. We want to send our New Year's greetings to one of our table operators, Tommy White, who's recuperating, and let him know we're thinking about him on New Year's night from the Superdome in New Orleans.
And I take this opportunity, too, to congratulate the president of ABC Sports, his wife, Kathy. They are the proud grandparents, their daughter, Sue, and son-in-law, Fred, giving them a little baby girl, Natalie Catherine, over this New Year's weekend.
You got a scoop. Where did you get that information?
Well, here's Kathy called my Kathy. But congratulations to all of you who are involved. Gordon Welsh has done a masterful job getting ready for this game. We touched on it, but I mean, they have the Tennessee defense totally unraveled, or they did, at least the first half. Going underneath, as perhaps the defense should have thought Sean Moore would be doing with that sore thumb. But they have been able to throw underneath. They've been able to run the football outside. They've run it inside, and they have just dominated thus far.
Dale Carter to receive. That's Michael Husted ready to kick off for the Cavaliers. Second half is underway at New Orleans. Carter backs up, fields at the 1. And they continue to do a great job against the man who led the nation in kickoff returns this season, as the tackle was made by number 32, David Brown, who's got an injured calf. I believe it's Jared Washington, who's been a force on their special teams tonight, will be taken up here. Tennessee in the first half, as you can see, those first 4 drives amounted to nothing. Then the last one was a sustained drive, but they missed a field goal.
As you pointed out, Al, this is a team that has averaged over 36 points, over 400 yards of offense throughout the season. So we talked at length about the Cavs' offensive output tonight, but how about their defense? They've done a great job.
And that was the big question. Scoring leaders coming in. Now you've got David Klingler at Houston and Ty Detmer, the Heisman Trophy winner at BYU, Mark McGuire at San Diego State, Sean Moore at Virginia. So great quarterbacks leading the top 4 offensive powers this year. Tony Thompson takes the ball out to the 27-yard line.
But when you looked at that graphic and you saw the University of Tennessee there down towards the bottom, I think it's safe to say that no one on that list played a schedule quite the equal of the University of Tennessee's. I mean, an extraordinary schedule for Tennessee this season.
And a very long schedule as well, as on second and short, Roland Coles picks up the first. They started the season on August 26th, a long time ago, against Colorado in the annual, or the first annual, I guess, Pigskin Kickoff Classic.
Not in Disneyland with a 31-31 tie.
Right.
Another tie against Auburn, and of course losses to Alabama and Notre Dame.
Tennessee 1st and 10 up at the 29-yard line. Tony Thompson, the SEC's leading ground gainer this season, scurries for 7. Covington and Slade converge on the tackle. And Tennessee going without a huddle. Hurry up offense here. Second down call at 2 at the 36-yard line. The up back to fullback Roland Cole picks up the first down. So back-to-back first downs on Tennessee's initial possession of the second half.
Tennessee remaining right at that line of scrimmage. Trying to gain momentum however they can.
First down at the 43-yard line, and the right tackle for the Volunteers clearly involved Anton Davis.
Anton was well across the line. The All-American.
You look at these two tackles, the Twin Peaks, Dan. What do you think professionally as prospects for tackles?
Well, they both certainly have the size.
False start in the offense. 5 yards, 1st and 10.
That's Davis that went offsides, but really when you look at both of them, Davis is probably the one who's rated higher by the scouts. There's Charles McCray, the left tackle, but I think he's the guy that exhibits more tenacity and maybe a little more toughness on the field, but Anton Davis, the prototypical, I think, offensive tackle in the National Football League. Big, strong, with excellent feet, great feet.
1st and 15 is Tony Thompson. Takes it out to the 42, pickup of 4. Carey in on the tackle.
Good time to be talking about it because he's opened a pretty good hole over the right side. There's about 310 and Tone Davis.
And that's, I would think, on the conservative side.
2nd and 11, short drop by Kelly, throws the out route to Vince Moore, who picks up some extra yardage after escaping, taking it to the 49-yard line, escaping Tyrone Lewis, and setting up a 3rd down and about 2.
Vince Moore only had 17 receptions over the season, and the Cavaliers are doing a good job shutting down the 2 outside receivers. That would be Alvin Harper and Carl Pickens, but Vince Moore has provided the big plays, and you saw one of the balls collapse on the sideline.
Lewis goes hobbling off. He's the guy who had the interception in the first half. 3rd down and 2. And Thompson cannot pick up the first down. He picks up only a yard. P.J. Killian makes the stop. Virginia all night long has been converting on 3rd downs. That's been the key to their offensive success. Tennessee is now 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversion.
And they're going to have to go on 4th down. You're down 16-0. And this is where I think that offensive line has got to do something right here. If Johnny Major is going to have this Tennessee team in this football game.
And there's not much of a hesitation by Coach John.
It's 4th and it's about 1.5 yards for the first down. Play clock almost down to the nub. Thompson looks to the first and I think has it.
He needs a spot.
Yep. Gene Tolliver. They have to get, as you can see, just inside the 47-yard line. They put it down in the middle of the logo.
Somewhat of a risky play by Tennessee, handing it off to the I-back.
It's going to be close, but I think he has it.
Takes a long time for that guy to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's starting 7 yards back, and on a short yardage play, most coaches like to go to somewhat of a more quick hitting play than handing it to the I-back, Frank.
Exactly, particularly when you have the big offensive line that Tennessee has.
By half the length of the football, 1st down.
You can understand how maybe Tennessee's starting to doubt a little bit of everything. The way they have dominated not only offensively but defensively. They need to put something up on the scoreboard, and I think they'll be back to Tennessee football.
11:35 left, 3rd quarter. Virginia on top 16-0. Kelly airs it out. and it's knocked down at the 8-yard line. Carl Pickens, the intended receiver. Keith McNees came over to break it up. The pass underthrown.
Well, Pickens did a good job of breaking that one up. That was picked off all the way. That was just thrown up for grabs.
That's interception number 3 by Kelly. If it's not for that sensational play, as you said, Frank, Carl Pickens is a good. He's a good 5 yards toward the sidelines of where that ball is thrown. I mean, Pickens isn't even. Look how far he has to come back to the inside to break this up. I mean, and he did get there early. He did get there early, but he was going for the football. A great play by Pickens. Poor throw by Kelly.
2nd and 8 from the 47-yard line. The fake to Thompson. Kelly throws. Open man is Moore. Stays in bounds, then steps out, has the first down. So Vince Moore, on a night when we expected Alvin Harper and Carl Pickens to be the key guys, it's been Moore who is, for the moment, taking the spotlight.
Well, Kelly could have taken either one of 2 receivers here. He selected Vince Moore, the underneath man, but look how wide open Anthony Morgan is. And now here comes the little one, Vince Moore, down the sidelines for the first down. And Moore is turning into the offense thus far for Tennessee.
4 catches for him for 78 yards. Tony Thompson for 5. Thompson to the Virginia 23 with 11:10 to go in the 3rd. P.J. Killian, the tackle.
Boy, you can see Anton Davis there really trying to excite his guys. The big senior trying to exert some sort of a leadership role there as well. And that's what Tennessee needs right now. They need somebody to get fired up, a little mad, a little upset.
2nd down and 5 at the 23. Kelly complete. Anthony Morgan, he has a first down at the 13-yard line, tackled by Jason Wallace.
Well, Tennessee's starting to put together what looks like a Virginia drive. This is the way that Virginia in the first half was mixing up their plays, working both sides of the field, going deep, going short. A good-looking drive underway here by the Volunteers.
Something they picked up probably early in the first half, and they come back with it. The cornerback playing way off. Jason Wallace playing way off of Morgan. They go with a little hit.
Gain of 2. Thompson takes it to the 11-yard line. 2nd down and 8.
Kelly getting the plays called in from the bench. Kelly on the field. Looks over, gets the play, steps into a huddle now. Alternating between going with the no huddle offense and the huddle offense.
Second and 8 from the 11-yard line. Kelly flips it out to Moore. He can only take it to the 10. He is stopped by Jason Wallace. And this opening drive of the 3rd quarter now, Tennessee faced with a 3rd down and 7 from the 10.
They kept this drive alive, but keep in mind, in midfield, they had to go on 4th down, and now the Cav defense is toughened again inside their 10. They need a big play here.
They need a conversion here. They haven't converted a 3rd down tonight. Kelly looks and throws, and it is caught inside the 1 somehow, some way by Alvin Harper. How in the world did he catch it? But now the other official comes in and overrules and says no. One guy said yes, the other guy says no, and now they're going to confer.
Of course, we're going to look at it. They don't look at the replay in college football. Of course, we're not too used to that. That was obviously a one-hopper. And they will bring it back.
It is ruled an incomplete pass.
He snaps that right off the carpet.
Pretty doggone good effort by Harper.
Yeah, good hand. That other high jumper. This time he goes down low to make a good effort, but the official was right there.
Well, that's the official.
He did call, that's the one who called it good. And
yeah, he called it good. The other guy called it
reversed. It was across the field.
Field goal attempt coming up here. Greg Burke, who missed one from 46. This is a chip shot.
Oh, another
a wobbly snap and a wobbly hold, but a 27-yard field goal that is good. Jason Julian able to get it down for Burke, and Tennessee finally gets on the scoreboard. Watching his drive, 5 minutes and 55 seconds worth, bogged down. They settle for 3. The score is 16-3 Virginia. And Joey Chapman kicks off for the Volunteers. It is fielded at the 10-yard line by Jared Washington, who was taken up earlier. He brings it back to the 21-yard line. Kenny Days makes the tackle. Well, here's a reminder. Sunday night, Mark Harmon stars as America's first Public Enemy #1 Dillinger. Twin Peaks Sherilyn Fenn co-stars in an ABC World Premiere movie, Dillinger, Sunday at 9 o'clock, 8 Central.
I guess she will be the lady in red.
Yes. Speaking of Twin Peaks, take a look at the Tennessee tacklers. Double primetime pop. From the 21-yard line, gain of 3, Terry Kirby. Stopped by Chuck Smith.
Load right now, right on the shoulders of this defensive unit, and one of the calves shaken up.
I think it's Trevor Riles, the center.
An all-coast, all-conference center. Had a couple years at guard before he moved over, and I'm sure that's not the boo-boo that's bothering him. He tries to shake it off.
Riles is the center. He will head to the sidelines. I believe this is him right here. Let's see what happens to him at the conclusion of the block.
Oh, that's it.
Yep, he gets it caught underneath him, and at least walking off, he was putting weight on it, and it looked.
And he did get it out of there.
Yeah,
Dan.
he did get it out in time. That's so critical. Get your weight off that thing. Get it up off the floor. The Tennessee crowd has come to life.
2nd and 7. Sean Moore under some heat. Steps out, stepping up, stepping nimbly to the 45-yard line, first down. Roderick Lewis finally makes the stop after a 22-yard gallop by Sean Moore.
Yeah, George, Wells told us yesterday his thumb may be bad, but his legs are fine, and he's a good runner. Over 360 yards on the season, 8 touchdowns. He knows it's right behind him. He can feel the hot breath. He breaks it back across the middle, eludes the 2 behind him, and gets good yardage up over the 40-yard line. Good running by Sean Moore.
I think a courageous effort, too. I mean, his thumb hurts. You have surgery. It's human nature to be a little tentative with something like that, and I've seen nothing that even remotely resembles being tentative by Sean Moore tonight.
Terry Kirby. Sean Moore was 4th in the Heisman balloting. He would have been probably a little bit higher until Virginia collapsed at the end, and his receiving mate Herman Moore finished 6th, and it's the first time since John Ewart and Jack Snow were together at Notre Dame that a quarterback-receiver combo both finished in the top 10 in the Heisman balloting.
For those people who have not seen Sean Moore, they're not seeing the real Sean Moore, because he is not as effective as he can be, and he can be brilliant throwing the football. He's just having a hard time doing it tonight.
That's how it wound up as Kirby picks up 4. He's about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Tom Fuller makes the tackle, and we have 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter with Virginia up by 13.
Yeah, you could see in that voting, though, that Ty Detmer and Rocket Ismail had the lion's share of the votes.
Kind of tribute to this city of New Orleans, a 2 sellout crowd, consecutive nights. Saints game last night.
3rd and a short 2, and Sean Moore.
Oh, what a hit.
Picks up the first down.
Geez, I sounded like our pinball machine.
Dale Carter. He looked a little bit like it. Dale Carter, who can really put a hammer on you. He is the one that worked out with the track team to build up his speed. Led the nation in kickoff returns. He comes up from that free safety spot. And Sean Moore, though, has kind of got his weight off his feet, and he takes the shot and handles it real nicely.
That's a nice little bit of improvisation by Sean Moore there. Almost collided with his running back. At the beginning of the play, 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. On a counter play, 4-yard pickup for Terry Kirby. Casey Rogers makes the tackle. Well, this third quarter is hardly moving at a snail's pace. It is rocketing along with 6:08 to play in the period.
Well, neither team is making much in the way of mistakes. They're going for it on 4th downs. They're running the football. You're right. It's a style of play that is going to chew up the clock.
2nd and 8 from the 33-yard line. Moore. That's a throw that's low and incomplete, and that's probably the best thing that could have happened to him because the coverage was good on Herman Moore. Well, the playoffs begin in the NFL, as you know, on Saturday, and ABC Sports brings you both games. Brent Musburger and Dick Vermeil will be in Philadelphia, where the Washington Redskins come to town to take on the Eagles. And then this trio will move to Joe Robbie Stadium. Steve DeBerg on the left, Dan Marino on the right. It's Kansas City against Miami in the second game at 4 Eastern time.
And look at Steve DeBerg talk about courageous efforts with a bad finger.
And what a great year he's had, though. I mean, 4 interceptions, over 440 passes.
3rd down and 8 for Sean Moore. And he gets hit as he throws. It is ruled incomplete. Incomplete. Chris Mims was there, but got it on a hop.
That performance against Chicago by DeBerg was something special this last week. Had to leave the game with the pain, came back in, and still had a superb game.
So it's 4th down. Line of scrimmage is the 33, and Virginia opts to watch. It's Mims who actually breaks the play up.
Right. And what a key play by Mims. Forces Virginia now to try a 50-yard field goal. What a key play.
Jake McInerney has already kicked one this year from 51, and this one had the distance but not the accuracy. Wide left.
Tried to snake it in there and just couldn't do it.
5:33 to go in the third. Each team has had the ball once in the third quarter. It's still 16-3 UVA. Taking a look at next year's schedule, Louisville, looking so impressive today in the Fiesta Bowl, provides the opposition in Louisville. And they've got UCLA, and of course, as members of the SEC, they play a full slate, and Notre Dame is stuck in there right in the middle.
And at Florida, at Alabama.
Tough. 1st and 10 from the 33. Kelly throws it away. Everybody is covered. 2nd down. Andy Kelly, he started out very impressively this year. Waffled in the middle of the season, came on at the end, and has not been sterling tonight, frankly.
That particular pass pattern should go back to the drawing board. About a 3-yard gather of 3 different receivers. Nothing for Kelly to do.
Off the fake, Kelly fires. That was an impressive looking aerial to Alvin Harper for a gain of about 7. Tackled by Jason Wallace.
Harper, a big outside receiver. There you see the size. He also does about a 4.5 too, as well as being one of those 7-foot high jumpers. They can pass right on the money, but these two outside men, both with a lot of size, Carl Pickens and Alvin Harper, can make up for a lot of error on the part of the quarterback.
3rd down and 3 at the 40. Kelly on an option that was botched can only get to the 41-yard line. Joe Hall came in and forced Kelly to do what he had not planned to do, and that's going to be a 4th and 2 now.
Well, a mistake on the offensive line of Tennessee, because Joe Hall was unblocked. The guard and the tackle just go on either side of the defensive lineman and let him come upfield. Think he hasn't had a few pops? Look at that helmet. I mean, that is hitting a face mask. It digs those furrows into your helmet, and that is that's the sign of a man who has been in a lot of action when your helmet takes on that look.
Looks like an old Dave Butts model.
Yeah, really.
Short punt, fair caught at the 31 and a flag down as Jason Wallace got hit by Lee Wood.
Lee Wood tried to hold up, but you can't make any contact.
Wood comes in and puts the wood to him, and that precipitates the flag.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
May get him a trip. Oh. May get him a trip out to the wood pile if he keeps that on.
How much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Fair catch here, Harris. First.
Is this what happens when you have to call games on back-to-back nights?
Yes, I think. Well, I give you credit. You go for it.
Yep. We better take a timeout here. 3:56 to go. Third quarter. 63 Cavs. Over the third quarter. Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Opening up 1991. And Virginia stunning Tennessee to this point. 16-3, and it's the Cavs with the ball at their own 45-yard line. And the left guard for Virginia jumped. Would have been Chris Stearns. Number 54.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. Repeats it down.
That is Chris Stearns, the left guard, who made a big play there in the first half when he covered up a fumble, hustling about 10 yards downfield. Now I see he has a battle-worn hat on too. Tough to be up there in the pits and not come out with just a few war wounds in various places.
First and 15. It's back to Nicky Fisher, who breaks it into Tennessee territory to the 45-yard line. Needed 15 and picked up about 14 and a half.
Hard to get a better look at the option coming right towards you. Handled well. And Fisher with great quickness. I'm really impressed with Fisher. He, of course, had over 800 yards rushing, but Terry Kirby was the leading running back. Now, down the line comes Sean Moore, the little quick to Fisher. He spots the opening, gets the block, breaks inside it. And good yardage over midfield.
Good block out front that time.
Yes,
the key man was Gary Steele, and remember, he left the game. They were looking at his shoulder early in this ball game. He's back in there and playing well.
Second and inches from the 45-yard line. And
Whoa!
Gary Steele, who breaks it for 18 to the 27. He's finally caught by Roderick Lewis.
Well, once again, Virginia does something not expected. They just got straightaway blocking on it, but they made it look like they were going to come down the line with the option. The defense of Tennessee reading the option, and all of a sudden Steele just erupts through there for big yardage. Brilliant designed game plan on the part of the Cavs, and executed well.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line. Fisher. He's closing in on 100 yards tonight as he picks up 7 here. Takes it to the 20-yard line.
There's Tom O'Brien, the offensive line coach of Virginia. He's been there now for 9 years. He's a former Midi, played at the Naval Academy, and boy, his guys are doing a tremendous job here tonight. Look at that, already 233 yards rushing, almost a 5.5 yard per carry average.
Yeah, he's been with George Welsh a long time. Coached with him in Annapolis and went to Charlottesville 8 years ago. So Second down and 3 from the 20. Steele. Close to a first down. Clock ticking down here in the rapidly paced third quarter. Darrell Hardy makes the tackle.
Tennessee defense totally bewildered by Virginia's offense. They will take it up the middle. They take it down on the option play everywhere they have gone. They've been successful. What it does, it makes you very tentative in what you do defensively. And Tennessee has certainly been tentative, not only here in the second half, but throughout the entire game. And another first down for the Cavs. They have a good drive going.
Well, two teams with contrasting bowl histories. Virginia had never been to a bowl game until 1984, and Welsh has now taken them to 4 bowl games. Tennessee, meanwhile, playing in its 31st, and only 3 other schools have played in more. But tonight, all Virginia, they lead by 13. First down from the 17-yard line. Sean Moore, for a gain of 9, takes it down to the 8-yard line.
The flag down back about the 12-yard line. One of the players was on top of the flag, and we couldn't see it until he rolled off it.
Again, it's just the option play with Sean Moore coming down the line. We'll look again. And he sees the little opening. He's got the flip man if he wants it. Decides he'll hold on to himself. Breaks behind the block of Gary Steele, or the screen of Gary Steele. But a penalty is going to negate the game.
Dean Kramer, the referee.
Holding on the offense. Repeat it down.
Takes it back to the 27-yard line. First and 20.
The big difference between college football and pro football. In college football, the individual who sinned is spared the wrath of the official's microphone.
You, sir, are guilty.
Yep.
At least as far as the crowd is concerned.
Yeah. Not so in pro football. You are indicted before the masses.
First and 20. Down the line, and a keeper for Moore after faking the toss, taking it to the 23-yard line.
Virginia running that option into the short side of the field because the 4-3 of the Tennessee defense usually is gapped to the wide side of the field. Good play selection. Again, Tommy O'Brien, the offensive coordinator, can't say it enough, with a brilliantly devised game plan coming into the game. And well, the guy should be home playing with his hamstring. It's getting late for the little people to be out. Notice how I'm more concerned these days than I have been in the past.
Yes, we've noticed.
Second and 16 as Moore throws. Tip, intercepted at the 5-yard line. Floyd Miley comes up with the football.
Well, a team in desperate need of a big play just got one. The junior from Fort Lauderdale comes up with the INT after the drill that defensive backs go through over and over and over.
Not a good pass by Sean Moore either.
The tip drill.
Well, look at that ball now. That's not a Sean Moore pass. The thumb has got to be affected. When it wobbles like that, it just doesn't get there with any velocity. It hangs up in the air. And that's how the ball defenders were able to get to it. Look at that ball. Nothing on it at all.
Floyd Miley with the pickoff. First down from the 5-yard line. That may have kept Tennessee in the game, because had Virginia gone in there, you might have written a finish to this one. Tony Thompson takes it up to the 10. Second down.
And really what put him in that position was the holding call. You had the option that Sean Moore ran and picked up a good 10 yards, and now we have an injured Cavalier down on the field. That's Joe Hall, their defensive tackle.
Twice Joe's been down now.
So really the holding call that negated the big run by Sean Moore put him into that passing situation. So Tennessee did indeed dodge a major league bullet.
Sure, because Moore had taken the ball to the 8, and it would have been second and 1. Ball is all right.
Well, words of encouragement.
a page out of like a Bob Golich book. That's what Golich would do when he walks off the field.
Yeah, there would have been more spit and slobber if Golich was there.
Certainly a lot more curls.
2nd and 6. Kenneth Miles takes Hall's spot. Tony Thompson fights for a first down up to the 17-yard line. 13 seconds to play in the quarter. P.J. Killian in on the stop.
Big play for Tennessee to get out to where they will not be at least kicking from their own end zone. First down. Now, if they can put a drive together, they can get back into this game.
1st and 10 up at the 18-yard line for Tennessee. Final play of the period is a Tony Thompson burst through the middle for another first down up to the 32. Tyrone Lewis takes the tackle. So the Vols trying to scratch and claw their way back into it as the third quarter ends. 16-13 Cavs. Back to the fourth after this commercial message and a word from our ABC station.
70 being the game.
Robert Todd, the Tennessee offensive tackle, looking on as his team tries to sustain a drive as we commence quarter number 4 from the 31-yard line. First down, Andy Kelly hands to Tony Thompson, and Thompson is off to the races into Virginia territory, still on his feet at the 35, down at the 31 by Jason Wallace.
Hey, that's what Tennessee needed.
Boy, and what a block at the point of attack by Charles McCray. Boy, the offensive left tackle, number 70, Charles McCray, got that one started at the line of scrimmage. Here's McCray on the left side, but watch the lead blocking over here on this side. And then what an outstanding effort by Thompson. Look at that. Tremendous work. Slade gets blown off the line, and this is special.
Carl Pickens also providing a block as Thompson again carries to the 30, so that's a gain of 2 after a gain of 38. Killian and Washington in on the tackle.
We talked about the weapons, the depth of the weapons of this Tennessee team, that maybe late in the game they might come into play, and the Cavalier defense showing signs of maybe getting a little weary out there. The big man of that offensive line hammering on them.
2nd and 8. First minute of the fourth quarter. Virginia up by 13. Deflected, incomplete. Hit down by Ron Perry. He was the guy who got the deflection on the 90. Ron Perry, senior out of Glen Allen, Virginia. 6'3", and needed all of it to knock it down. He said, "Hey, watch this up on the board."
Yeah. if you can't get close, get up.
Yep. Just reached up there and ticked it.
Yep. Carry a good 4 yards away from Kelly, but timed his leap and just grazed the ball with his little finger.
Just a little tick.
3rd and 8 from the 30. Caught at the 15-yard line by Pickens for a first down, and it's the first time in the game Tennessee has converted on 3rd down tonight.
A little round of Tony Thompson kicking through tackles, seemingly fired up this Tennessee offense. And now their big man, their leading receiver across the middle, they protect the quarterback Kelly long enough to make this move. And a good move by Pickens, finding the open gap. Kelly got it there.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Thompson. First down to the 7-yard line. Covington makes the tackle. Anton Davis provided the block.
Well, this is the drive of the night, at least to this point. Tennessee starting with their backs at their own goal line. Where'd this thing start? Was it inside the 5?
I think at the 6.
The 6?
Yep, the short line.
A most impressive drive by Tennessee.
After Virginia could have salted it away had they moved in. 2nd and 2 from the 7. On this 9th play of the drive, Tony scores. What a move.
Well, what a couple of blocks out front. Roland Poles and Anthony Morgan Both of those guys. Here's the point of attack, again working to the left side. McCray, Vaughn Reeves, the tight end. But here comes Poles, number 42. And then to the left of your screen, working on the outside, was Morgan. And Tony Thompson just takes it in easily. A great, great drive by Tennessee.
They did it every which way. They did it with the big run from Tony Thompson. They did it in the air. And they've got something going. And keep in mind that misconversion early on the first touchdown on the part of Virginia.
Greg Burke's extra point was good. 12:51 left. 16-10, Virginia. Folks from Tennessee celebrating those streams of Rocky Top.
I would say unofficially the Tennessee faithful outnumber the Virginia fans by, what do you say, 3-1 maybe?
How about 10-1? Everything is orange here.
Well, that's Virginia sees orange too.
Well, they drenched in blue with their colors, though. You can see a little sprinkling of it.
In a way, this should be the Orange Bowl.
The unofficial count on Bourbon Street, though, has Tennessee a vast majority of the fans here in New Orleans.
Jared Washington runs it back from the 12 out to the 32-yard line.
I think Al pointed out earlier, Tennessee knows how to go to bowls. They have had a good time here. I stumbled over a few of them.
Numbers on the Tennessee scoring drive as they go from their own 6 into the end zone.
And a 94-yard drive and only 2:24 is using the clock as good as you can without a, without it being an 80-yard pass play in there. A couple big runs by Thompson.
We got these fans back in it.
First and 10 from the 32. 12:45 to go. Sean Moore pitches it back to Roland Poles. Ooh, and he gets banged out by that's Terry Kirby, the ball carrier who gets banged out of bounds by Thomas and Carter.
Dale Carter, number 18, is only a junior, but he could be a good-looking pro prospect. 6'2", 185-pounder, a great speed. First team, as you can see, all SEC. And he really roams around that field and also leads the nation in kickoff returns.
2nd and 4. Carter has 8 tackles tonight. That's Steele picking up only 2, takes it to the 40-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 2.
Think about Carter. He's just cat-like quick out there. He moves around. He comes up. He can turn it back to the inside. He'll come up and hit it at the line of scrimmage. Carter's up looking at a lot of players, how they're going to make it, where their future is.
Carter's from Oxford, Georgia, got away from the Bulldogs to get up to Tennessee.
They said he used to collect Gila monsters as a kid, but I don't know whether I can believe that or not. 3rd down and 2 from the 40. Moore on a key play. Ooh, does he have it? I think he does. It's going to depend on the spot, but he appears to have it by inches. Darrell Hardy makes the tackle.
I must have missed that in the press guide.
I read everything.
It's actually durable.
First and 10 for Virginia.
Moore hands it off. And through the middle, Terry Kirby for 7. 2nd down. Spotted at the 49-yard line with 11:15 remaining in the game.
Very important drive for Virginia to try and recapture some of the momentum. Second and 4.
And picking up only a couple now is Kirby. So once more, Virginia is faced with a key 3rd down play. 10:45 remaining in the game. again makes the tackle.
Talk about a team, though, that's responding like champions. I mean, all the momentum had swung in favor of Tennessee, and George Welch's team now, when they had to mount a drive, when they had to string some first downs together, they have been able to do it, and that is the mark of a good football team.
And Kirby, I don't think he has it. Floyd Miley, who had that key interception on the last series, came up to make the tackle. And from here, it looks as if they are going to be a little bit short. You know, you look at that interception by Miley before. You keep in mind Jeremy Lincoln was hurt, possible separated shoulder. He had to leave the game, and it was Miley who took his place.
Oh, a key decision on the part of George Welch at midfield. On 4th down and short, he is going to go, and again another injured Tennessee player, and that's
Miley.
Miley.
So they're really banged up at the corners now.
I think part of the decision on the part of George Welch to go on this 4th down with a 6-point lead is the momentum that has apparently shifted somewhat to Tennessee. A moment ago, key drive for Virginia. They want to keep it alive.
This is a big, big game for those. They're going to really go for it. You know, they may just come up and try to draw them offside.
I'm hard-pressed to see the wisdom in going for this.
Yeah. Other than they've just watched Tennessee go 96 yards on another drive.
I
think this is the time you get your punter in there and try and get him down near the 10-yard line. How often can they do it?
I dare them to go 96 yards again.
4th and inches, if they do indeed snap it, and they do, and it's a sneak, and it's going to be close. Sean Moore.
I think he did get enough out of it.
George Welch, he's afraid to look.
Yeah, excuse me while I try to coach this game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anybody got a phone book I can stand on here? Yeah.
You'd be entitled to a little more space than that. I'm in charge here.
And Sean Moore has the first down. Big gamble, and it pays off.
You go back to the end of a football game and you think back, where's the turning point? Where did we really clinch it? Not to say that that's definitely going to happen or anything, but you go back to a decision, a risky decision on the part of George Welch to keep Tennessee's offense off the field as long as he can. And he goes on 4th and short at midfield and gets it.
First down at the 47-yard line. Steele, gang tackled and thrust back after a pickup of 1. Second down. Hardy again, who's been in on a number of tackles tonight.
And the 3rd wide receiver coming in now, Johnny Wilson. We saw him earlier. So we got Herman Moore going to the top of your screen. He's a big 6'5" receiver.
Second and 9. Virginia up by 6. 8:42 to go. And Moore for Moore, but too high.
Oh, and he was open, and at a 6'5", he's pretty difficult to overthrow, but a bad pass by Sean Moore again, playing with that very sore thumb. He's a little short of the first down, but he probably could have turned it into a first down reception had the ball been somewhere where he could have got his hands on it.
Herman unable to spring loose tonight. He has caught only 2 balls for 13 yards. 3rd and 9. Sean Moore's throw is low and incomplete for Dave Sweeney. Wouldn't have had the first down anyway. Chuck Smith that time came charging through and forced the low throw by Moore.
Yeah, Tennessee gambled with the blitz, and it paid off. Sean Moore was having to throw retreating off the back foot, and factor in a bad thumb, he just didn't get enough on the ball to get it there.
I think that's a lot of it, Dan. We watched him all night, and when he can get set. He has the time. He can throw the short ball, but off balance with a sore thumb, he just can't get it there.
And Garneau to punt. Rush was on.
And there's the flag.
Flag is down. And the kick is brought back to the 20-yard line.
Oh, this is going to be a Virginia first down.
J.J. McCleskey was the guy who came through near block, but instead he's going to be the guy who gets the flag.
He's complaining, but he went right into the kicker. Oh. Well, you coach that, you teach it, you get in a bowl situation. You've got to go in front of the kicker. He thought he had it, obviously. He just wipes out the kicker, Garneau.
He's contending that he was pushed by Jeffries, 17.
It's hard to tell from that angle right there whether or not Jeffries actually made contact with McCleskey. Let's go ahead. Right here, you can see, watch this collision right here. Here's Jeffries, here's McCleskey. Is he touching him? Is he knocking him back into the kicker? That's what McCleskey is maintaining. I can't tell.
To no avail. First down, 31-yard line after the penalty. And good second and third effort. Ball loose, but after the play is over. Nicky Fisher gains 5 and is shaken up. Nicky Fisher, one of the alternating tailbacks. He and Terry Kirby, each doing a great job all season long. And time out in the field at 8:01, and that may have been in the NFL, well, a definite review and a probable fumble.
Guess who's taking out a little frustration? Watch McCleskey come in from the right side, put a helmet right in Fisher's ribs. Boy, that's a helmet right in the ribs, right there. And that ball, very close to the knee being down, but it actually looked like the ball was working its way loose before the knee touched. But at full speed, you cannot expect an official to see that and make that call. He's going to be ruled down by contact every time in that situation.
I think Fisher just had the wind knocked out of him. Fortunately, I was concerned for rib damage for a moment, but he walked off and looks to be in good shape.
Well, that's a tough call for any zebra, college or pro.
You're right.
McCleskey is really heated over that call, the roughing the kicker.
2nd and 5 at the 26, under 8 minutes to go. 16-10 Virginia. Big rush, gets it away and into a lot of traffic. The ball was thrown. Darryl Hardy is the guy.
Darryl Hardy
right
is
in the middle of it again.
All over the field tonight, and talk about being in the right place there. He's got 2 linemen right around him, and he also hits the receiver and breaks up the pass. That's a big-time play there by Hardy.
Third down 4 at the 26. Virginia, great success on third down tonight. Austin Frayer for Tennessee. Sean Moore throws off his back foot and incomplete. Darryl Hardy again right in the center of things.
Looked like Darryl Hardy was trying to avoid catching it. He's thinking, I mean, it looked like he really didn't want to catch that ball. As stunned as he was to have it right in his hand.
Well, fourth down, let's go back. Here's the kick to the penalty anyway that kept the drive alive.
Here's McCleskey down here, and Jeffries, I believe this is Jeffries here, who's going to come out and try to block him. Now let's take a look at it. Yeah, there's Jeffries. I don't think Jeffries hit him. I didn't see much in the way of contact.
Well, here's McInerney, and he hits one from 43. So that penalty keeps Virginia going, gets them within field goal range. And that's a huge field goal because it means that the Vols are going to have to score twice right now. 19-10 is the margin for Virginia. 7:34 remaining in the Sugar Bowl. University of Virginia leading Tennessee 19-10. In what would be a pretty good upset in light of the fact Tennessee was favored by 6 coming in. The kickoff comes down to the 5-yard line. Anthony Morgan gets popped out at the 20-yard line. And we can take this opportunity to tell you that coming up on a Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central and Pacific, ABC Sports presents Matt Biondi, Janet Evans, Wendy Leanne Williams, among others, competing in the World Swimming and Diving Championships.
Can koala bears swim?
Well, tune in and find out. Then on Sunday, the International Tournament of Champions comes your way. With the times reflected there, Greg Norman among those expected to compete.
The White Shark.
At the 20-yard line after the 26. The pass from Andy Kelly is taken in by number 1 Vince Moore. Gain of 6.
Greg is an exciting player.
Well, can Tennessee recreate their last drive?
Second down, or 5 from the 26-yard line. But he throws, that's a first down to that man Moore again. Vince Moore having a big night. First down, 6:53 to go.
How many he's caught for the evening, but he came into tonight with only 17 on the season. He's made the big plays.
Well, right now, Virginia is only rushing 3 men. They're dropping the other 8 back into a deep zone, and if Tennessee makes that adjustment, throwing that 5- and 6-yard pass underneath that zone, it'll be there every time.
First and 10 from the 38. Here's Greg Ambler.
Whoa!
Good move to the 47-yard line of the Cavs.
Crack team again. Ambler hurdling a would-be tackler. Once again, it's a screen pass. He gets a good block into the inside, and watch this.
A move you don't expect from a guy wearing black high-top shoes. This is as good as it gets right there.
Right over Goodwin.
Wow.
On the 47-yard line, catch is made. 6-yard pickup. Mark Adams, the tight end, to the 41-yard line. His first catch of the encounter. And slow and rising.
You hate to see that spinning action, and you just wondered if Mark Adams, as he went down, was going to get up from that one.
Ron Reeves will take his place.
Get a full 360 with a couple of tacklers hanging on. Oh, yeah. Not a good one to watch.
Second and 4 from the 41. Ambler seeks the first down. He's close. 37-yard line. Jason Wallace makes the stop. 5:45 to go. And in the Orange Bowl in Miami, number 1 ranked Colorado trying to maintain that ranking, leading 10-9. Of course, Georgia Tech's going to say they're number 1. Miami's going to say, hey, look, we should be number 1 after killing Texas.
Tennessee and the Buffaloes played to a 31-31 tie first game of the season.
3rd and inches, and that's a first down. Greg Ambler taking it. So Ambler's been their man. Tony Thompson, who's been their key guy tonight, takes a breather as Ambler has been the heavy-duty man on this drive.
Big man, too. 6'2", 232-pounder.
He's not Gazelle-like, but he's getting the job done in spades. Timeout. Timeout called by Virginia. Virginia tries to get its defense together. The defense rests. 5:10 to go. Cavs by 9. Takes it down to the 16-yard line. Kelly and Ambler leading the Tennessee Volunteers down the field.
Ambler playing a major role in this drive, coming into the game during the season. Only 52 attempts. Tony Thompson was the key man in the running game, and only 2 receptions. There are another 20 receptions coming into tonight. He's been a big factor.
Little change off now at the line of scrimmage. Quarterback Kelly.
1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Hamsler takes it to the 15. Well, they've been doing it without Tony Thompson, who's been their key man tonight and performed so brilliantly on that last drive. They let Hamsler carry the ball here on just about every other play. And with good success. 2nd down and 8. Four and a half to go. Good protection.
Wide open
man in the end zone. Touchdown. Carl Pickens.
Lone defense. Pickens all alone, standing in the end zone. It was what appeared to be a zone defense. At least the cornerback thought somebody was going to pick Pickens up. He let him go with a hardly even trying to bump him, and Pickens was all in the end zone all alone.
Tyrone Lewis is a corner to that side, and you're right, Frank. He looks confused. He thinks he's playing a zone. He thinks he's got some deep outside help because he just releases Pickens. And all of a sudden now we have a 2-point ball game.
Greg Burke moves it through. That makes it 19-17.
Yeah, that is a blown coverage. He's locked on man-to-man, thought he had a zone, and Tennessee gets an easy touchdown. Not who scores first, who scores last.
Dan Deerdorf, this wasn't the most glamorous matchup on New Year's Day, but it's been anything but a turkey. Holy mackerel, it's been a good one. From the Superdome, 19-17. The Cavs lead by 2. Tennessee to kick off. Joey Chapman puts it in the air. Fielded at the 5-yard line by Jared Washington. Out to the 32 he comes. And if the Vols have to take their timeouts on defense, they have all 3 remaining.
Offensive coordinator Tommy O'Brien. His final word, Sean Moore.
Notice the difference there? The only constant being an interception in each half. Not a completed pass here in the second half for Sean Moore.
And all night long, Herman Moore has been a non-factor. Just 2 grabs. First down from the 32-yard line. Sean Moore.
Oh, there's a flag.
Oh.
Couple flags.
Yeah, another one. 3 now down to the field. I'll have a couple of separate penalties here. Dean Kramer.
Players participating for the defense. 15 at the end of the run.
I'm glad they replaced his mic.
Well, we caught the first part, which was that Tennessee had 12 men on the field.
Yeah. And then a personal foul, I think, was the other one on Ernest Fields
of Tennessee as well. And this ball is going to be way down the field.
Yeah. Double penalty.
And a great play by Sean Moore. We having trouble throwing the football. I think he probably was sent out there by Tommy O'Brien.
Well, I mean, that's a killer.
Tacked on at the end of the run. Yeah. So a great effort by Sean Moore.
22-yard run and 2 penalties. First down. Virginia at the 31-yard line. After all, that 4:09 remaining in the game.
That last play started at their own 31.
Cavs lead by a deuce, and Moore gets tripped up, takes it to the 29, picks up 2. Tripped over his own man, Mark Dixon.
Dixon was just Fred Eagle there on the ground, and Sean Moore had to leap over him.
Johnny Majors, well, he and George Welsh are no strangers to each other. They faced each other 4 times, but years ago when Welsh was at Navy and Majors was at Pitt, and Majors won 3 of those 4 encounters.
The Panthers had a lot of good football teams back then.
A veteran coach for 22 years from Majors, the head coach, and 19 for Welch.
Second down and 8. This is Perry Kirby to the 26. It's going to set up a key 3rd and 5 with 3:20 remaining. Virginia's led all the way. Meanwhile, final score at the Orange Bowl. There it is. Top-ranked Colorado holds on. And no matter how the voting goes this week, there is going to be enormous controversy. Let's face it. Colorado wins by a point, but Georgia Tech wins very convincingly today, the number 2 team, and Miami blows away Texas.
But when the number 1 team in the country beats Notre Dame, how do they surrender number 1?
You would think.
I don't see how it could happen.
But, you know, there's going to be a lot of griping anyway. 3rd down and 5. Sean Moore throws and incomplete.
The tough part for Colorado is if they do end up the season number 1, you wonder how many years are going to go by before every time they talk about Colorado being number 1, they aren't going to mention the 5th down game against Missouri.
Well, a lot of teams are going to be crowing their number 1 tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
and they're going to invoke that reason, and that was a long time ago. I don't see where that plays now.
4th down, and McInerney comes in to attempt the field goal. It'll be spotted at the 34-yard line, and the whistle sounds before the play gets off. 2:37 left on the game clock. Field goal would put them up by 5. It was 4th and 5 just prior to the whistle. Flag lies at the line of scrimmage.
No flag.
Well, I thought I saw 2 flags.
The defense threatens the offense. The offense picks up. No flag.
The defense threatened the offense. The offense picked up. And whirly-whirly, we have no flag.
Would you translate that?
They get to do it again.
Okay. McInerney again, 44-yard field goal effort. And this one is good. Just kept it in the right upright.
So whoever the holder was, he made a great effort to get that down. And again, it's Riddleberger who had problems early on, and he was perhaps the cause of the missed conversion. And he made a great effort to get that ball down. Otherwise, the Cavs do not get the field goal.
Virginia by 5.
ABC Studios in New York. Final score in from the Federal Express Orange Bowl. Colorado beats Notre Dame 10-9 the final, but what might have been for the Irish, because the Rocket, with just around a minute to go, will go 91 yards, but watch the clip right there. There was a clip right there. Rocket goes 91 yards for the touchdown, but it is called back. They can't make anything happen, and the score holds up 10-9 the final. And just for you Georgia Tech fans, the last time there was a split vote was in '78 when Bama won the AP poll and USC the UPI, but it looks like Colorado this year. Let's go back to New Orleans and Al Michaels.
Thank you, Roger. Here we have 2:31 to play. Virginia, a 6-point underdog, leads 22-17 over Tennessee. Michael Husted kicks off. And Dale Carter tops in the country in kickoff returns from a yard deep. And they've been covering him well all night long. Taken down at the 19-yard line. So a long drive is exactly what Tennessee's going to need. Virginia's going to contend they recovered a fumble, but the officials say no. And we have 2:24 remaining. And the Volunteers with all of their timeouts, all 3.
The Volunteers making a big comeback here in the second half, down by 16-0 at halftime. And their last scoring drive, one of 96 yards. So they're certainly capable. It could be maybe just the overwhelming size and strength of this offensive line that's starting to wear even more on a much smaller Virginia defense.
Well, Tennessee has scored its 2 TDs tonight on their last 2 possessions. From the 20-yard line, Andy Kelly throws it out to Amser. Nice catch. And then Amser to the 26-yard line. He really should have thought about getting out of bounds. Benson Goodwin makes the tackle.
I don't know that Amsler has ever had a better half than he's had here in the second half of this game. Blocking, receiving, running with the ball. I mean, he has had an extraordinary half of football, and this is very typical of the half he's played. A fine one-handed stab.
2nd and 5, and again.
Oh, that's a lateral.
That's a lateral. Ball, no. They say no. They call it an incomplete pass.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that was, I think. Boy, that sure looked like a lateral. I mean, that's a lateral all the way, and a major, major break for Johnny Major's Tennessee club. I mean, let's watch where the ball is released by Kelly. He's standing right at the 18-yard line, and he throws it back to about the 17 and a half. That's a lateral.
Last night it would have been a turnover. 3rd and 6 from the 25. Kelly throws and converts on 3rd down to Carl Pickens. Forward progress nets him the first up at the 33 with 1:44 to go.
Okay, take a look. Here we are right on the 18-yard line, and let's watch where this ball is thrown. You can see the ball travels backwards, actually towards the 17, and Amsler drops it. The ball hits right between the 17 and the 18.
And I think that was deflected, and that might have played partially into that ruling, but a great reception by Pickens to come down with that football.
At the 45-yard line.
Concentration by this wide receiver to hold on to that after the blow he took.
I think Anton Davis is down on the field.
That's going to stop the clock for the moment with 1:32 remaining.
Kelly fires it in. Pickens goes up for it. He knows he's going to get hammered, and he does.
Oh, what a great concentration.
Covington, the cornerback, puts one on Pickens, but he was able to concentrate and hold on. That's a great reception.
How about the passing lane that his offensive line gave him there? I mean, the middle parted. Andy Kelly had a beautiful sight line down the middle of the field.
Kelly is now 20 of 29, 243 yards. Pretty good numbers, but if you haven't watched the whole game, it's only been on the last couple of series that he's gotten a hot hand. 1:32 to play. Virginia has led all the way. They dominated the first half, but Tennessee has come on to score on back-to-back possessions here in the fourth quarter. And they've done it without Tony Thompson, who gained 145 yards. Kelly fires, and he's lucky it wasn't intercepted at the 22 by Keith McMeans. He was one of 4 Cavaliers in the area.
Boy, McMeans, I mean, that's the end of the ball game if he's able to pull it down, and he might have had too long to look at it. That ball was thrown directly at McMeans, and he's not able to catch it.
As Kelly knows, he should not have thrown. He had all the time in the world, probably too much. He got the dancing feet in there, and then he had plenty of time to just throw it away, but he almost threw the fatal interception.
2nd down and 10 from the 45-yard line. Draw play to Tony Thompson, who was just reinserted into the game, and he's dragged down at the 40-yard line on a nice ankle tackle by Jason Wallace. And Tennessee will spend its first timeout here with 12 remaining.
What hustle by Jason Wallace. What a play by Wallace to catch Thompson and bring him down. Not only does he stop the play, but he keeps him in bounds. Great hustle by Wallace.
It's a superb cornerback play by both Wallace and Covington.
You're going to see here that Thompson has an angle heading for the sideline, but from the right of your screen, look at the hustle and the ankle grab that time by Jason Wallace. From Hampton, Virginia.
When play resumes, it'll be 3rd and 5. Critical play coming for Tennessee at the 40-yard line. 22-17. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining.
Thompson's coming out, and Amsler, number 47, who has not used that extensively during the regular season, but has seen a lot of work here in the second half of this game, comes into the lineup. He's been effective as a runner and a receiver. Big Greg Amsler, the senior running back.
The talked about Kelly getting the hot hand on the last 2 drives. And you can take a look at Andy's numbers when you break them down. First half, next to nothing. 2 interceptions, 5 of 9, and a real hot second half. Third and 5 at the 40. Harper is the man in motion. Harper makes the catch. Harper has the first down. Harper gets out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
And
given out by McMean.
And guess who throws a critical block?
Yeah.
To give Kelly time to throw that ball. How about Greg Amsler? What? This kid is doing everything. And right now, George Welsh is having to pace the sidelines, wondering whether his defense is going to flounder. Look at that block by Amsler. He puts Chris Slade on the ground, and this club is getting hot at the right time.
1:08 to go. Kelly dumps it off for Amsler. He takes it, gets out of bounds at the 30. Minimal gain. 6 seconds gone from the clock. 1:02 remaining. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Johnny Majors, his team winning its 2nd straight SEC championship. 31st time Tennessee has participated in a bowl game. Virginia in a bowl for only the 4th time in the history of the school. 2nd down and 7 at the 30. Kelly throws. Did he stay in bounds at the 23? Yes, the catch is made by Von Reeves. A little bit short, though, of the first down. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Well, it does a couple of things, though. It stops the clock, number 1. And here is Kelly looking downfield, and he has to deliver it to Reeves, who does a good job of keeping the feet in bounds. Actually, the foot in bounds here in college football. And we were also here last night with the 1-foot in bounds rule. So thanks to the Rams.
3rd down. And a short one, and Kelly's going to go for it through the air, and incomplete, intended for Pickens.
Ooh. Well, there's
3rd and short.
That's what happens when you throw a ball. Now, you're right. You have reason to bend over and think a little bit, John Majors. I don't know if Kelly was expecting his receiver to be a little shorter, or if that pass was just as ugly as it looked like it was.
Well, 4th down. Tennessee has to convert here.
It was a bad time to have a foul up here also.
And it's Amsler who keeps it going, takes it to the 17-yard line. 1st down, Volunteers.
And again, the clock is your friend in college football, the way it stops after you get a 1st down.
They'll also stop it here for a longer period because Tennessee wants to take a timeout. Timeout, Volunteers. They're down to 1 remaining. The ball is at the 17-yard line with 50 seconds left.
Well, John Majors has seen his club come through with some big wins this year, and boy, he's looking for another comebacker right here. Nice wins against the Wildcats of Tennessee, the Temple Owls, Florida Gators. I mean, it's been a good Tennessee year. All John Majors wants is one more.
Dodged a couple of bullets there. Tennessee with poorly thrown pass by Kelly, and then a mix-up in the formation, almost using too much time, and still Amsler was able to get the 1st down. Kelly having quite a night. Junior quarterback.
Well, final game of the day. And for those of you who have watched every game today, Hank Williams just called and wants to know if you're ready for some football. And if you are, he wants you committed.
Yeah. If you're ready for more football after this.
This is a pretty good way to wind it down. Last game of the day goes right down to the wire.
Guys blinking all over the nation.
1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Fake to Thompson. Kelly throws. It's caught at the 5-yard line. Harper is taken down. It's going to be 1st and goal. Clock momentarily stops on the 1st down. 40 seconds remaining.
That's right. Andy Kelly's looking over. Do you want me to just throw the ball down and stop it? I'd save that timeout. The clock still has not started to turn because of its stoppage on the 1st down.
And Tennessee will have their offense ready to go as they signal to start the clock.
And timeout is called by Virginia.
Not a bad call, though, just to regroup, because they would have snapped that ball, got the incompletion, and well, Virginia wants to make sure they have got the right defensive unit out there.
If Virginia would have known what Tennessee was going to do, as we look back to the last play, the completion to Alvin Harper, but Tennessee was going to just use it down, throw the ball away, and stop the clock.
Let him use it.
Virginia would have been better suited to let Tennessee go ahead and do that, waste the play, and then only have 3 downs to work with. But, of course, they weren't privy to that. They didn't see Kelly look over to the sidelines to inquire of his coach, John Majors, is that what I should do?
And George Welch, he wanted to make certain that he had the right people in there defensively.
I don't know if that was a squirrel cap or whatever that guy was wearing, but a dangling fur of some type.
George Welch, former Navy quarterback with a great career as a player, 19 years of head coach, how many years of Navy, and then his 9th season here at the University of Virginia, heading for the conclusion of a 4th consecutive winning season for the Cavs.
1st and goal. Kelly's been red hot in the 4th quarter. He gives it to Ambler. He takes it to the 1-yard line. Kelly comes charging in to take a timeout. That's their last. McMeans makes the tackle. 2nd and goal when play resumes.
This is the half of a lifetime for Greg Amsler.
Hasn't he played games?
I don't know how you could play a more complete ball game than he's played here in the 2nd half.
He had 196 yards rushing for the season, 20 receptions, and he has been a superstar here in the 2nd half. That's the numbers that he's put up, and they have been big play numbers.
And again, if you're just tuning in, having watched the other games tonight, Amsler's a guy who's really playing a backup role, because Tony Thompson's had a night and a half in a way, with well over 100 yards, the SEC's leading ball carrier. 150 yards for Tony T tonight on 24 carries.
You know, I think back to when we talked to the Virginia coaches, one of their lines was, whatever we have one of, Tennessee seems to have 2. And it really is shown here in the 2nd half that Tennessee has been able to go over into their roster and pluck out players who weren't guys who started the ball game, weren't key players to begin with, and yet have been very instrumental down the stretch.
Roland Poles now comes in. Tony Thompson is there. Poles a good blocking back, and Thompson, of course, the leading rusher for the Vols.
2nd and goal. Thompson is the tailback. Poles is the fullback. They come up in a power I with Amsler in that power set as well. And they give it to Thompson, and Thompson's in.
Good.
Now, right now, I think Tennessee would be better suited to go for 2 points. If they would go for 2, that would give them a 25-22 lead. So a kick an extra point makes it 24-22, and a field goal can beat you.
I'm sure they will. As Thompson slices through for the touchdown. 151 yards on the night. And that last one of those 151, the most important.
Right. And Tennessee is going to go for the deuce.
They have pick and set all the way out to the right. Harper comes in motion. Kelly rolls that way, tries to find the open man in the back of the end zone. It's Pickens, and the pass is incomplete. Covering on the play was Jason Wallace. Tennessee already celebrating. But still 31 seconds remain, and all Virginia has to do is somehow get the ball in field goal range, down by a point. And Jake McInerney, their field goal kicker, has hit one from 51 yards this year.
But again, we'll go back to the fact that Sean Moore has not been able to throw the ball like he could before that thumb injury in the next to last football game. And here is the missed two-point conversion attempt trying to go to Pickens. And I don't know whether it's deflected or not, but it looked like it bounded off the shoulder pads. But again, Sean Moore has not been able to throw the ball as effectively as he did during the early part of the season until he had the thumb injury in the next to last game. So it's going to be very difficult to get the ball downfield where they can kick that field goal. Ideally, you'd want him to be looking for big Herman Moore, a wide receiver, but he has not been much of a factor here tonight.
Herman Moore tonight, if you're just tuning in, the All-America wide receiver, has caught only 2 passes. 13 yards. He has been a non-factor. 31 seconds left. The Cavs have 1 timeout. Sean Moore in this half hasn't completed a pass. He's 0 for 8. Short kick taken up at the 26-yard line and run back to the 38-yard line by Dave Sweeney.
That's not a bad place to start.
Not bad.
That's the problem with that short kick.
Well, remember now, if you get the ball to the 30-yard line, that's about a 47-yard field goal attempt.
Aha, we're going to see Matt Blundin. Blunden, rather, who filled in for Moore in the final game of the season. It was a loss to Virginia Tech, but he's a pocket passer with a strong arm, 6'7", and he threw it for over 300 yards in that loss. And he can fire it.
I think it's a good move.
I do too.
London back to throw, has it deflected, and nobody saw it, and it's incomplete. Chris Mims was the guy who knocked it down.
And a guy, another in a long list of Tennessee players that has had a nice game tonight. Chris Mims has been around the ball and made a bunch of plays.
Not like Blunden has not done a lot of work. He's taken a lot of snaps because they weren't certain that Sean Moore would be able to start tonight. So he's had the work, even though he's coming off the bench. Well, terrific pressure spot. He has worked with the offense a lot.
You're asking a great deal of Blunden, and I think it's just indicative of how bad Sean Moore's hand must be to make a change at this point.
It has to be.
Yeah.
No question. 2nd and 10. Blunden nearly sacked, then is at the 30-yard line by Chris Mims with 10 seconds remaining. The Cavs have 1 timeout, and they have to take it here, and they finally do.
Well, that's the one thing you sacrifice when you take Moore out. I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I mean, Sean Moore unable to throw the ball to the outside with the bad thumb, but Blunden is not a very active, agile man back there. Moore probably would have got out of there and turned that into something.
Tennessee doing their mountain goat impersonation, or they're
battering rams.
These guys are tough on each other tonight.
Right.
Well, a wonderful example of perseverance by the University of Tennessee tonight. Totally outplayed in the first half. Virginia dominating at all turns, but just banging away, slugging away, not straying from your game plan. And Tennessee really, I mean, a masterful example of a team not losing its cool.
And about the only thing you can expect now for the Cavs just to put the ball up and look for the defensive foul. And you'll get a defense spread all over the field on the part of the Volunteers. But you're right, Dan, they hung in there. They were totally dominated the first half, down 16-0. We talked at halftime about the depth of Tennessee, the strength of Tennessee, their size on the offensive line, and eventually it started to pay off, take its toll on a smaller Virginia team. And we can pull back and maybe take a look at the defense, the way it's spread out.
3rd and 17 on what could be the last play of the game. London goes deep, and only Oren Church are there, and Dale Carter, fittingly one of the finest defensive backs in the country, picks it off and ends the Sugar Bowl as he runs it back to the 25, and the Volunteers erase a 16-point deficit and give Johnny Majors another bowl victory.
Well, then I'll bet at halftime he certainly felt he was going to have a difficult time getting. Down 16-0. Great comeback victory and a fine performance by the Cavs. Their star quarterback handicap, obviously Sean Moore with the bad thumb, injured in the next to last game. Just could not do what he could do before that injury.
Well, you know, we only get to do one college game a year, our annual trip here to the Sugar Bowl, but it is fun. I mean, it is fun. We've seen some good football games, and tonight just a good example of what I think people all around the country get to experience on New Year's Day. A fun experience.
And our thanks to our Monday night crew, headed by Kenny Wolf, Craig Janoff, Malibu Kelly Hayes, and George Hill, and Renate Larone, and the whole gang supporting us throughout the season.
Our guys did a good double duty job, didn't they?
Excellent.
They were up late last night. They'll be much later knocking it down tonight.
Well, our crew will reconvene in the southern part of Florida.
On Saturday, NFL playoffs on ABC. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deirdre. Happy New Year from New Orleans.
ABC Sports presents an NFC-AFC playoff doubleheader. First, the Washington Redskins head to Philadelphia to tackle Randall Cunningham and the Eagles. Then, the Kansas City Chiefs collide with Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins. Now, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for your late local news and ABC News Nightline, followed by Into the Night starring Rick Dees over most of these ABC stations. The USF&G Sugar Bowl has been brought to you by USF&G Insurance, protecting your business, home, auto, and life. USF&G, standing behind the USA. By Mercury, nothing moves you like a Mercury. And by intensive treatment from Head & Shoulders, tough on persistent dandruff without medicated hair. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.